pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold, the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Prime Minister Liz Truss kicking off her first visit to the U.S. as Britain's leader with an admission that a UK-U.S. free trade deal is not going to happen for years.
On her way to the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Truss said, quote, "There aren't currently any negotiations taking place with the U.S., and I don't have an expectation that those are going to start in the short to medium term." That's a sharp contrast with the stance of her immediate predecessors, Boris Johnson and Theresa May. Both dangled the promise of a deal with the world's biggest economy as one of the main prizes of Britain's exit from the European Union.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House. Microsoft's $69 billion deal to buy video game company Activision Blizzard facing an in-depth antitrust investigation in the UK after the tech company refused to offer proposals aimed at easing competition concerns. News and analysis, townhall.com. A Kentucky man. As a teen, he opened fire on fellow high schoolers, killing 3 fellow students. Will go before the state parole board to ask to be freed.
Michael Carneal was 14 when in December 1997 he fired a stolen pistol at a before-school prayer group in the lobby of his high school near Paducah, Kentucky. He killed 3 girls ages 14, 15, and 17 and wounded 5 other students. Christina Hadley Elgood, the sister of victim Nicole Hadley, testified yesterday.
I believe that Michael knew what he was doing. The day of the shooting, he brought 5 guns with him, enough ammo to shoot everyone in the school twice, and had 3 pairs of earplugs.
Carneal is now 39. I'm Donna Warder.
At least 250,000 people joined the huge line to see Queen Elizabeth's coffin lying in state for 4 days in London's Westminster Hall at Parliament. That, according to the UK Culture Secretary. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to it.
The second day of the rest of your life.
Hope you're having a wonderful day so far.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you liked the weather yesterday.
More of the same.
That rain wasn't supposed to happen.
That was not.
It did.
I'm
thankful.
Was very odd.
It was nice.
It was very nice.
But
cooled the afternoon down.
I didn't know that was coming. The weather service never told us it was coming.
A lot of people are saying that's kind of just like some updraft from the hurricane that hit down like in Mexico, I guess. There was like a big hurricane.
Yeah, they had one,
Maria, I think.
I think
or
you're
no,
right.
no, that was the last one. There was a different one.
Yeah, I know of the hurricane of which you speak. But yeah, but it was nice. It was a nice little change. But if you like the sunny and 90s, low 90s, more of that rest of the week.
I'm fine with the sun. I just wish there was just a few more clouds in the area to cover up the sun sometimes.
It was a little warm yesterday.
It was real warm yesterday.
Like we had after the show yesterday, we had a memorial service. Miss Eunice, we talked a little bit about it on the radio yesterday, but we were out to the graveside service yesterday, and that was about 11 in the morning, and it was already warm out there.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm glad I didn't wear a wool coat because you would be not very happy right
Glad
now.
I left my toque at home.
Yeah.
My walking toque.
But you know how people get dressed up and
of
stuff,
course.
and you're like, oh yeah, I got this big wool coat.
jacket.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, this is not
because
ideal.
The cinematic funeral scene or the cinematic graveside funeral scene is rainy.
Yeah.
Everybody out there with black umbrellas in those thick wool coats, and then one guy way off to the side staring, with aloof because he can't be there.
Yes.
While sad violin plays.
That's right. Well, it depends on the movie.
Right.
There could be a terrorist plot going on,
That's true.
like a couple tombstones down. Could be,
Or
like
it could just be a series of bumbling funeral workers that accidentally dropped the thing in.
Then again, I watch a lot more Martin Scorsese movies, so a lot of it's gangster. The family's talking.
See, I
over
immediately
here.
went to like Lethal or Naked Gun. Yeah, I immediately went to just those
Actually,
kinds of scenes.
the moment you started talking about what a funeral's supposed to look like, I went to Hot Shots. I love a good funeral. Don't they have respect for the dead?
Oh, I know it's morbid to joke about this, but this is how we process, all right?
Yeah. That scene from Hot Shots. Jumping Jesus are back.
Jumping Jesus. Oh, man. See, I'm going to have to go back and watch that one. Those two, I think. Part 2 is underrated.
Lloyd Bridges is by far the best part of the Hot Shots movies. His lines are the best in all of them. I mean, there's other funny parts, but guaranteed when he's in the movie, there's something funny about to happen.
I like the jumping Jesus, they're back.
How are you, sir? Hawaii. Supposed to be in California.
Pudding.
The morale around here is shot to hell. Look at these people.
They ain't even moving.
They're hardly moving. Roy! Went to school with that man. He's staring at a painting. That's why it's funny. But anyway, happy Tuesday, everybody.
Timeless. Yeah, I unfortunately did not make the service yesterday.
Yeah. You had your son had a little incident at school.
He attempted to bite off most of his tongue. He had an incident on the playground. I guess he was trying to climb up the slide.
Someone say, "Hey, tongue tacos are pretty good."
La lingua? But he was to the second rung of the slide, the ladder for the slide. And I guess somehow he took a tumble, fell, and when he did, he hit his chin and bit his tongue.
Oh man!
Yeah, and it was pretty rough there for me. And they checked. We went to the ER just to be sure, and we felt silly afterwards because they were like, "Well, the tongue heals incredibly fast."
Well,
it's
it's your kid, and anytime your kid's hurt,
an abundance of caution.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just checked to make sure he didn't bite all the way through it, and said just give it 2 days. Give him some Tylenol or something. The tongue. Come to find out, the tongue is the second fastest organ in the human body to heal. The first is the eyes.
Nice.
I did not know that.
So burn your tongue away. It'll heal quick.
That's right. Use up them eyes while you got them. They'll heal.
Sure, you didn't want to just go ahead and push the hole all the way through, and you put a stud in there and call it.
It was actually right in the perfect spot for like a. I
remember the picture I saw with the red spot. It was right there in the middle. Perfect piercing spot.
Right.
If you're gonna be doing that, well, consider.
Yeah. But he was in good spirits after the fact. I mean, he was just kind of sitting there hanging out, and I'd heard that he can do this, but I saw it for the first time yesterday. He just winked at his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 3-year-old knows how to wink.
He's a little playboy, huh?
I couldn't wink until I was like an adult.
I don't remember.
I think I was like 13 or 14 when I finally figured it out, but
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. His winking skills are strong.
His wink game is on point.
We're gonna call him Wink Martindale.
Right. Oh, Winky Gray.
Wonder what Wink Martindale's up to nowadays.
I mean, he's Is he still here?
I think I saw him doing a commercial for like reverse mortgages or Pain Factor or
Him
something
and Henry
like
Winkler.
that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think we literally have had this question like 3 times in the history of me being on this show.
His name's Wink. I
Right.
mean, it's just,
It comes up.
And I remember I was an avid watcher of Tic-Tac-Toe.
Oh, I love Tic-Tac-Toe.
When I was a child.
Because when I used to have that big satellite that I've talked about at the house in Rio Rancho.
Yes.
I used to watch the old game show like network feed, and I'd sit there and watch Win, Lose, or Draw and Tic-Tac-Toe and Card Sharks and all those.
No, in the morning television, that was part of the Tic-Tac-Toe before my grandma's stories came on.
He is still alive, and he's 88 years young.
Good deal. He still walks around with that little skinny mic.
Probably. Did he like make the skinny mic thing? Because I always thought that was a Bob Barker thing.
I remember Wink doing it before Bob, but or maybe at the same time.
I was going to say, I wonder if Bob's superstar Billy Graham or Hulk Hogan.
I think the heyday of both of those shows, the Skinny Mike was in.
Are they
fashion?
Here's the question: are they both Mark Goodson productions?
Might be Stu Billett's.
Because
Mark Goodson, Stu Billett production.
Was it Mark Goodson? There was another name, but it wasn't Stu Billett. No, it was another one.
Stu Billett.
Well, that was maybe one, but there was a Mark Goodson a Mark Goodson something television production.
I always thought it was Stu Billett.
Rod Roddy always used to say it at the end of Price is Right.
Stu Billett is in my head.
Stu Billett. What does that sound? Why does that sound unfamiliar?
Let me get
the rundown.
Let me give the rundown while he's looking up Stu Billett.
Dive into some billets.
The Billett family. We're going to replay an interview this hour. Jason Burke, commander of Roswell VFW Post 12184, joined us yesterday and talked about the VFW Post and talked about some of the things they've got going on. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a wee bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Dr. Sean Powell, president, Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, join us. And then in the bottom half of the hour, we'll have the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office drop by, give us an update there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay another interview. Chaves County Federated Republican Women joined us last Wednesday, Janine Best. Their event is tomorrow.
Yes.
Every so I figured I'd play that to remind everybody about that.
Very good.
So that's the rundown. How'd we do?
So I know why you know Stu Billett.
Okay.
The reason you know Stu Billett is because he was associated with his longtime production partner, Ralph Edwards.
Oh,
and
Ralph
they
Edwards,
produced
Stu
a
Billett
show
production. Okay.
close to your heart.
Yeah. The Court of the People's production.
Yep,
Yeah.
People's Court. Yeah, that's why that's familiar to you.
Okay.
This is the plaintiff.
Now I hear the music and with it. Yes. So did we ever figure out what it was with?
It was just Mark Goodson.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a loner.
He's
a lone wolf.
He went it alone.
You could join his lone one wolf pack.
It was a one-man wolf pack, and slowly we all became a 3-man wolf pack.
That's right. All right, it is 7:15. Let's go ahead and take a gander at, because it has an exclamation point.
Ooh.
The weather.
Weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like all the moist air will stay west of the mountains for now, and that means a lot of sunshine for us. We'll stay pretty warm. Our high in the low to mid-90s today, and a little bit breezy during the afternoon hours. Mid-60s and clear for the overnight hours, and then Wednesday and Thursday look about the same with afternoon highs near 90 and lots of sunshine. Friday, low 90s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 67 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 87%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today, high of 92 expected. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight. Overnight low of 65 degrees with south winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, more of the same. Sunny, 93 for a high. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 64 degrees. South winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny, 93 for a high. Southeast winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny, 94 for a high. And then looking at the weekend, sunny, 92 on Saturday. Sunny and 88. A little cooler on Sunday. And looks like we're going to start work week next week, mid-80s. 84 is what they're saying right now. So gradually just inching towards that fall-like weather. All right, it is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report, take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Jason Burke with VFW Post 12184. That's on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Come on down. The Price is Right sales event is on at Roswell Nissan with a showcase showdown of amazing savings, like a 2020 Nissan Sentra for just $289 a month, 2020 Nissan Versa for just $249 a month, or a 2014 Toyota Avalon for just $219 a month. Plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days available. If you got a job, a bank account, and a down payment or trade, Roswell Nissan can make it happen. The Price is Right sales event all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,066 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold steady to 2 lower. Feeder cattle steady to 2 higher. Packer cows and bulls steady to $1 lower. 3 to 400 pound steers $228, $229. 3 to 400 pound heifers $179, $186. 4 to 500 pound steers $198.5, $228. 4 to 500 pound heifers $176.50, $179. 5 to 600 pound steers $178.5, $198.5. 5 to 600 pound heifers $161, $176.50. 6 700 pound steers $173, $178.50. 6 700 pound heifers $144, $161. 7 800 pound steers $153, $173. And 7 800 pound heifers not well tested. Packer cows 83 to 91. Canner and cutter cows 70 to 78. Packer bulls $1 to 105. Feeder bulls 75 to 85. Top half the cow calf pairs $1,000 to $1,350 per pair. And the bred cows not well tested this week. We do appreciate the business. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning, commander of our Roswell VFW Post 12184, Jason Burke, back with us. Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
I must say it's a lot easier when people say, well, I'm in Legion or I think 61. That's a lot of numbers. 12184.
That is a lot of.
That's a big ID number.
It's like 12184. We're the 12,000th VFW post in the United States.
It's hard to make it flow off the tongue a little bit there. Yeah. But the great news is it's here in Roswell. I know for folks that have been long-time residents or call Roswell home, VFW here locally took a hiatus, but a couple, about 2 years ago?
3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago, the Post has gotten resurgence and got back together, much thanks to yourself and some other people here. And it's now thriving and going. So veterans, calling all veterans, we're looking for new members to come be a part of the Roswell VFW Post.
Absolutely. Every day. We're we need members. We will never as long as you have the qualifications, we're not ever going to say, no, we don't need any members right now.
Sure.
We could always use members.
Well, and it's much like Legion, so we share a lot of the same stuff here, and so it's great. The only real difference is I think one's organized by Congress and one isn't. That's pretty much the only difference. They share a lot of the same passions, the same looking out for the community and looking out for veterans. We've got the same
mission.
Yeah, and obviously we partner a lot here, November and all that. But what I love about it is yes, it's a service organization, but it's as much a service organization for veterans as is for the communities. Because yes, VFW is a support system for veterans, a place to, if you need to connect with anything VA related stuff. VFW's always been that source for veterans. Absolutely. And things like that. But veterans also are people that like to help. Hence, most reason why most of them ended up at some point in service. First they didn't qualify for college, so they said I'll join, and then they turned out this is their life and their calling. So
yes, sir.
But so a lot of it is when they're not taking care of their own, it's helping the community, service in the community, helping families in need in our community, helping children in need in our community. That's something that's passionate to the VFW's heart, is saying, hey, when we're making sure the veterans get everything they need, we want to make sure the community's taken care of too.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of that role of the veteran in our community. After once your service is done, you're still a servant to the community in many ways, shapes, or forms. And VFW is kind of that conduit to help veterans do that, but also help the community too.
Yeah, most definitely. We're by nature we're mission driven people. And we no longer wear combat boots. We no longer carry a rifle. We're no longer deployable.
Right.
They take one look at me and they wouldn't.
Although,
deploy me.
If they needed to, most of them would be like, "Yeah, I'll put me back on the
exactly.
Put me on the C5. I'll go."
Yes, sir. So we're mission driven, and a lot of veterans, they get out of the military, and if you're like me, it's kind of like, well, what now?
Yeah.
I need a mission. I need, and it's not just working 40 hours a week, coming home, paying the bills.
Sure.
There's a lot more to it than that.
A sense of purpose.
A sense of purpose, exactly. Yeah. And with the VFW, a lot of us, that's where we find our purpose. Mm-hmm. We have missions, we have food drives, we have, all kinds of things that we do for the community.
Absolutely.
Like you said, and for each other, of course.
Well, and that's what it's like helping each other through service. That's kind of like the VFW, because let's face it, many veterans, they deal with a lot of post-traumatic stuff.
Yes, sir.
Some a lot, some a little, somewhere in between. But part of that dealing with it is the service side and doing some of those things. Because if for some of these veterans, if you're idle, that's when the thoughts come in. That's when the negative things happen. And so for them, it's an opportunity to not let idle hands do the devil's work here and say, you know what? Rather than me sitting by myself here stewing, let's go and see if I can make an impact on someone else's life, or let's get our veterans together and let's see if we can do some mental health for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. And so that's what VFW. So if you're a veteran and you feel a little on an island out here, VFW might be that option for you to kind of bring you back in a little bit and get you back into feeling like you're part of life again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of our members, a lot of the members at the post have expressed that to me. We've expressed that to each other. And we're not licensed therapists. We're not psychologists or anything like that. But like you said, the PTSD and the needing a purpose, something to do. We're not therapists. We can't, I can't diagnose anybody. Nobody's going to diagnose me. But it's just that bond.
Yeah.
It's the camaraderie.
When people chew the same dirt you have, and you kind of look and think things from the same perspective, it certainly makes those things a lot easier. It's like, yeah, life stinks, but you get it like I get it. And so there's compassion and camaraderie there that it's like, and that's, and in a nutshell, any veteran you talk to, I don't care what service they're in, how long they served, there's always that mindset that, yeah, this sucks, but we're doing it together and it sucks.
Embrace the
Therefore,
suck.
we'll go through it. So I don't care where you served, how long you served. You always have one of those moments in your service where you go through that, whether it's something simple like cleaning up a pile of trash or something.
Sweeping the motor pool.
Yeah. Or something more, life and death type things. But either way, that's how the military runs. It is that we train you for the worst possible scenario so you can keep a cool head in that thing. And sometimes life after that doesn't translate well for folks. And that's where VFW can help and things like that. That's where you can't think this way as a civilian now that you did in the military, but let's work together on how we can cope and find other avenues to kind of get what you need without, being a problem to others in society and things.
And that's, you said, think like a civilian now, or you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And being in the VFW, we're not military, but we are paramilitary.
Right.
We have a uniform. This isn't it, but we do have a uniform. And there's certain guidelines to it, but it's not as strict as military. And so it's very difficult to get out of the military, and you just can't. You're not going to turn off that military mindset.
That life's ingrained into you. Yeah.
It's ingrained, and you're not going to turn off the military mindset. So that's another thing, for me personally, being a member of the VFW has allowed me to take that military mindset and actually continue to use it.
Just to give people a case in point weird example, I'm going to guess just, I don't know a whole lot about Jason's background and everything, but I do know that, being a veteran, I'm willing to guess you probably very rarely walk around town with anything in your right hand.
Very seldom. It's always
if you have stuff, it's in the left.
I'm not saluting anybody.
Because military people are ingrained to keep that free in case you're saluting. And I'm almost 50. I haven't been in the service in almost 30 years. And to this day, I still, if I have something in my right hand, I subconsciously throw it to my left.
Always in the left hand.
It's just because of that military training.
When I start walking, I start off with my left foot.
Left foot forward.
I start off with my left foot.
Yeah.
I walk with my my fingers curled and my thumbs.
Yeah, in that position of attention.
I'm walking in the position of attention, and and once in a while, somebody will notice that. Why do you walk with a clenched fist? Well, it's not a clenched fist. It's just how I walk.
Force of habit.
Force of habit.
It's just, and once that's ingrained into you, it's hard to kind of just stop doing it that way.
Very tough.
And so that just if you want to spot veterans, there's simple little things, real quick. It's not always haircut and things.
Not always. But I don't have any hair.
Yeah, but you go oh yeah, there's some military background behind that. You can just tell.
Definitely.
And that's the great kinship and let's face it, every one of us that have been in the military have done some of the dumbest things you've ever done, too. And there's comradeship in that as well, too. It's like, oh, yeah, have you ever had to paint rocks? I did. You know what I mean?
I had to one time, I got in trouble for I was in basic training, and I pulled a leaf off of a little tree, and a drill sergeant saw that. And now this was back when the drill sergeants could still yell at you and call you names and talk about your mama and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work out. I can't repeat everything the drill sergeant said.
Most can't.
Exactly. But I had to adopt that tree. That was my baby for the next 3 months. And I had to water it and yell at it. I had to go out and discipline my tree when it was too windy and the tree would wave too much. Yeah, that was my tree.
Isn't that funny, though?
It was hilarious.
I think I told this story on the radio, but when I was in basic, we had a guy that liked to sing. He'd just be walking and he'd sing, and of course the drill instructor would catch him, and it would not be good. And so after several of those incidents, he literally took that guy, put him in a wall locker that had, how they have those little vents at the top, and literally made the guy hang out there all afternoon, and every once in a while he'd go and throw a quarter in one of those slots and make the guy sing a song.
You turned him into a jukebox.
Yeah, and so that's just one of the family-friendly ones. There was a whole thing he did for your security key in Air Force. They at least back in the 90s, you had a security drawer where you keep your valuables, but it's always at the bottom of your locker display. And there's a padlock that's on there, and the key to the padlock is on a chain around your neck.
Yes, sir.
That chain around your neck does not come off your neck. Never.
Yep.
Not even to open said lock. So you got to bend down to pick it up. But whenever you're not using the lock directly or the key, you're supposed to tuck it in your shirt. And if you don't tuck it in, you're considered out of uniform.
Unauthorized propelling.
Yeah. So every time there's a person caught with their key hanging out over their shirt, they get yelled at. But there was one guy that kept getting caught all the time, and for like 2 hours. And I can't repeat what he said, but he made the guy walk around basically holding his key up kind of like a noose saying suicide is not for me, blank, blank is the key. And then he had to go tell all the different recruits and everybody that was in the earshot about this statement. But that's exactly what you're talking about. The same kind of that military. Yeah, I don't think they do all that anymore in the military.
I don't think they do. I remember one guy having to duck walk. This was right at the beginning of basic training.
Yeah.
And duck walks.
Oh yeah.
Miserable on the thighs. One guy had to duck walk and cry real loud around a movie, the inside perimeter of a movie theater. And he had to cry because as he was doing jumping jacks, he was getting smoked.
Okay.
He started whimpering, and the drill sergeant made him do duck walks. And this poor lady was up there trying to talk about all of our, all of our military benefits and stuff. And he's walking around with his heads on his hand doing a duck walk.
It's hard to take the room seriously.
Real loud.
Yeah, I'm sure no one was.
Of course, I started laughing, and that did not work out.
Oh yeah,
that did not work out.
That's the hardest part in basic and all that time is not laughing at some of the stuff. That was my biggest. You get more in trouble if you get caught laughing because, let's face it, instructors, TIs, DIs, whatever you call them, they're funny people.
They are, but they are stone cold too.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd never forget the snake pit. That was our big when you go to the chow hall.
Oh man.
And of course, there's a whole thing. Procedures of going in and out of the chow hall and how you navigate. You just don't walk in and eat.
Absolutely
that way.
not.
But anyway, there was always a table of drill instructors that would sit, and you'd have, no matter where you're at in the cafeteria, you're going to have to pass this table to eat. And depending on the moods of the instructors at the time eating the meal, some days you just sneak on through and go eat and about your day. But every once in a while, you go through there. One of them had Airman, come here.
Yep. I got in trouble for talking. I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky. That's where I did basic training. That's where the U.S. Armored, that's where all your tankers and Cav Scouts went to Fort Knox.
Okay.
Somewhere else different now, I don't know. But we had Marines there as well. And I was in the chow hall, and a Marine was sitting across from me, and this Marine were just eating as quickly as we could.
Yeah.
And the Marine looked up at me, and then I looked up at the Marine, like, why is this Marine staring at me? And the Marine, he was going through AIT.
Okay.
And he asked me a question. He said, hey, I'm taking this test tomorrow. It's the TCGST, Tank Crew Gunnery Evaluation Test. I can't remember what TCGST stands for. But he asked me a question, and so I looked, and I was like, okay, nobody's looking. I can tell this guy because I just learned it.
Right.
And I hear, come here, face. Face is what Drill Sergeant Graham called everybody. And if he called you face, so I'm like, oh, that's
you're not
me.
worthy of knowing your name yet. That's why he called you.
Exactly.
Face.
Your face. You don't have a name. You're just face.
Yeah.
Come here, face. Bring your little jarhead buddy with you. Oh, no. So me and my little jarhead buddy, we're just out there. We're talking to the drill sergeant, and he's asking us what's going on. And Drill Sergeant Graham dressed me down. Then here comes this Marine drill instructor. He dresses his soldier down, his Marine down. Well, the drill sergeant and the drill instructor from the Marine Corps, they wanted to have a contest to see which one could make our lives the most miserable.
Oh, man. They were trying to one-up each other.
They were trying to one-up each other, using us as the rope of this tug-of-war game that they were now playing.
Man. Yeah.
And it was 3 nights of just the most hell I've ever been through in my life.
Oh, my God.
Not good at all. I've never thrown up so much in my life. I'll put it to you that way. Yeah. Not fun.
But there's basic, and we all have those stories.
That was basic training.
Well, it is, and of course, it's a different world now. But,
totally different world,
unfortunately. I don't even think they let you have irons anymore. But
I don't know.
But anyway, but if you're looking for something here to be part of and want to, that's what this VFW post is all about here. Tell folks when you meet and talk a little bit about all that the kind of joining and becoming and what the requirements are to become a VFW.
Okay. So we meet the last Thursday of every month.
Okay.
At 7 p.m. at Grace Community Church.
Okay. So you got one coming up, is it next Thursday?
We've got one coming up.
I think it's next Thursday.
I'm going to say next Thursday, I'm going to say. Let's see here. What is this month? September still?
Yeah, I think it's next Thursday is the last Thursday.
It'll be the 29th.
Okay. Which is
2 weeks? Let's see. Today's the 19th. So 10 days.
10 days. Okay.
10 days. Like I said, 7 p.m., Grace Community Church, the last Thursday of every month.
Good deal.
That's when we meet, and you don't have to call, you don't have to make an appointment, just show up.
Yeah.
We're always looking for members. If you want to do an annual membership, it's $45 a year.
Okay.
If you want to do a life membership, I don't know the exact, because the due for life membership is based on age. The younger you are, the more expensive it's going to be.
Sure.
I did mine when I was like
alone.
26 years old or something like that.
So they got you good.
It cost me a ton of money. Yeah. Basically, though, the membership qualifications. Okay. An honorable or a general discharge, or you could currently still be serving. So you don't have to be out of.
I didn't know you could be active and still serve.
You could still be active.
Okay.
I've got one fellow. I've got one gentleman. I'm trying to get him to join. His wife's a member. I'm trying to get him to join. He's still active out at the National Guard unit.
Okay.
And as far as I know, I think his wife may be as well.
Oh, okay.
So you can still be serving. You can still be in the military as long as you got a combat patch.
Okay.
Okay. Service in a war, a campaign, or an expedition on foreign soils or hostile waters.
Okay.
For your Iraqi freedom guys, it's our Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Vietnam Service Medal.
Okay.
Those things as well. That's a qualification.
And I know with some of those, if you pretty much served in the military during certain windows, you automatically qualify for some of those.
Absolutely.
Depending on your dates of service and things like that.
Like for Navy guys, I've talked to a few guys who were in the Navy, and they got injured. They were at Pearl Harbor or San Diego or wherever. They got injured, and so they couldn't go out on sea duty, but their boat entered hostile waters.
Gotcha.
They're still eligible.
Gotcha.
They weren't physically on the boat at the time, but they were assigned to that boat. That's their boat.
Sure.
They're still eligible.
That's where they serve.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And also service in South Korea for, not just during the Korean War, but even now.
Because technically that war's never ended.
Exactly.
So any person that goes over to Korea to serve in a year remote, they're serving in a war zone.
Well, 30 consecutive days or 60 non-consecutive days in South Korea, you're eligible to join the VFW.
I know typically it's usually a 1 year tour when they send, at least in the Air Force. I don't know about the other.
It's usually, Army's usually 1 year. I know a few guys who miserably did 2 years. I never went, thank goodness.
I think generally if the only time they would let family go was if they did 2+. But that was kind of rare that they let a family go.
Yeah, and it's usually soldier sponsored.
Yeah.
You have to pay your rent, housing, everything. It's on you.
Yeah.
Getting them there, getting them back, it's on you.
Yeah. But there's a few circumstances where they will let that happen. Not very often.
Not very often.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. But
a lot of
anyway,
those soldiers come back with wives.
If you don't have one, they've got a fine selection over there.
There we go.
got a taste for kimchi, and you might have a wife when you're done.
Yep. Oh yeah. Kimchi's not bad.
It's not. It smells much worse than it tastes.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
But those are actually qualifiers for VFW here. So if please do your research. Maybe if you're interested in come out to the next Thursday meeting. If you happen to think about it, bring you a DD-214 with you. That'll tell you all of your service and everything on there, and that'll tell you real quick. I mean, if you're not sure, Jason or any of the folks there can look at that DD-214 real quick, and you qualify.
And a lot of people, a lot of folks who have been out for any extended amount of time, a lot of them they've lost their DD-214. Shame on you, by the way, if you've ever lost your DD-214.
I remember when I
ever do that.
When I separated, they were telling me, like, whatever you do,
yes,
I don't care if you do anything else, do not lose this copy of this DD-214.
They told us this is the most important piece of paper you'll ever own in your life.
Because they don't really keep it. I don't know about now, but they didn't keep files of those or anything. So
you can keep them down at the county courthouse.
Yeah, now you can register as a public record, which they recommend you do, but if you lose it, you just can't make a phone call and get it again. There's a lot more paperwork involved.
It's a pain. So if you don't have a DD-214, get with me. I can
start that process.
I can start you the process. I can get you the paperwork of getting you your DD-214. Also, too, if you don't have a DD-214, if you have a certificate, anytime in the Army, anytime you got a medal, like an Army Achievement Medal, you got a certificate that
some
came
paperwork
with it.
to go with it, yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a certificate that says, this is your combat action medal, your combat action badge, your campaign medal, whatever, that works as well. Or now I don't know anybody who has any one of these, but an LES,
a
leave and earning statement.
Yeah.
If you have a leave and earning statement that shows hazard fire, hostile fire pay, or imminent
Some
danger
people
pay.
collect everything, though.
Some people do.
They might have a stack of those sitting
that,
somewhere. Yeah.
That works as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't specifically have to be a DD-214.
But we know what it looks like when you get a check from serving in a war zone.
Exactly. yeah, I got this LES. I lost my DD-214, but I still have this LES.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and to be honest, when we were in the military, that was the incentive to be deployed. I know as young single GIs, if you're not married and attached, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to send a bunch of people to Kuwait," you're like, "Dude, tax free for how many months now?
For a year?
I'm gonna make some bank."
I'm going. Oh yeah.
And you got nothing to spend it on because there's literally nothing to do while you're there except work and hang out and tell stories.
When I was in Iraq, I bought cigarettes and chicken. I bought a lot of. I never ate so much chicken in my life.
Yeah,
but
you used to get cartons of cigarettes for like $6.
$5. Yeah, they were like called like Nice Pins or something like that. Weird little names, but hey, you know what? They were $5 a carton.
And then if you had things like jeans, the TCIs would love to. If you had a pair of Levi's jeans, man, they'd pay top dollar for those things.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Another story for another day. But come out to the next meeting. Come out next Thursday to the next meeting. Come meet some of the veterans and everybody that serve there. And if you're looking for some camaraderie, some people that kind of probably look and think and feel a lot like you do sometimes, come on out to the VFW. You'll find that you'll probably find a lot of comradeship there, and then learn about all the different ways to serve, to be a part. Just come. It really. It's just a way to be plugged in with your veteran status and veteran. That's at the end of the day, it's a support system for you as much as it is a service organization to the people that the VFW serve.
And we've got a good group of guys, and we're planning some big things.
Good.
We're planning big things to be a part of.
Good deal.
So.
Well, I know you do have a couple fundraising events we want to just kind of put on people's radar real quick. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got a food drive coming up.
Okay.
November 6th and November 7th.
Okay. Right, and it's for the Thanksgiving holidays.
That's why we're doing it. To help out with the again, a community activity to help out with the folks who are needy during the holidays. There's some unfortunate.
And there's probably a lot of veterans in that group of need because
probably
you know as well as I do, veterans aren't the most forthcoming when it comes to asking for help.
Nope, they'd rather
beat us in the head, upside our head to finally take help.
We don't like to go to the doctor. We don't like to ask for help. We don't. Yeah, nope.
It's an MO.
Yeah, it is exactly, and it's a little bit of pride.
Yeah.
And so we're having this food drive on November 6th and November 7th from 8 to 5. And it's going to be out at Fire Station number 1.
Okay.
Right out there on Pennsylvania.
Fire department's always awesome with helping out, especially with veteran-related things and stuff. Whenever we do flag retirements and stuff, those guys hang out and help with all of that. They because I'm guessing there's probably quite a few veterans amongst that firehouse themselves.
I would imagine. So
exactly
I might take it as an opportunity to do a little bit of recruiting.
You might, yeah. I bet there's a lot of prior service in that firehouse.
Sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. So a lot of it, we're going to be out there doing that. And we also have our parade coming up November 12th.
Yes, the Veterans Parade,
the Veterans Day Parade that us and the American Legion Posts have been planning and working hard to get done. So hopefully, and we'll have some fundraising activities, some vendor booths set up at the Wool Bowl.
Yeah,
out there.
Yeah, so hopefully, folks, when you come out for the Veterans Day Parade here in November. Come out the courthouse lawn and partake in the ceremonies and the parade, but the party fun is actually going to be happening right after at the Wool Bowl. So
definitely.
As soon as everyone kind of conglomerates back at the Wool Bowl, come on out. We're hoping to have some National Guards cool stuff out there.
Some vehicles, maybe an invisible jet or two.
Of course, food and stuff for people to do and check out if you're a nonprofit or a organization that wants to set up shop out there. Reach out. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's as much a celebration. I mean, the beginning when we get the speeches and all that, it gets a little, dry and eye or here. But once we get down there, it's just us, vets being vets.
And we're going to have a booth set up out there. We're going to be doing a poppy drive, doing some recruiting, doing some fundraising. I'm going to have some T-shirts to sell, and
good deal.
And so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Come be a part. Come out next Thursday to the VFW meeting. Again, what time does that start at Grace Community Church?
Grace Community Church at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Last Thursday of every month.
Yeah, and so it just so happens to be next Thursday here. So
now, November, December, the last Thursdays, is going to fall on
might be holidays.
Christmas. These going to change.
Okay.
And so my phone number is 575-910-1860.
Okay.
So please give me a call, shoot me a text.
And
anytime.
I know you guys do have a VFW 12184 Facebook page as well, too.
We do have a Facebook page. We also have a LinkedIn page.
Okay,
as
so
well.
if you prefer to do communications that way, shoot a message through either one of those.
Yep.
And Jason or someone will get back to you pretty quick.
Yeah, I've got a guy who runs our Facebook page, and he's on it. And he's
if you don't remember 12184, because I know that just doesn't roll off the tongue.
12184.
Yeah, just if you put VFW Roswell, New Mexico, something like that, it'll pop right up in the search there.
Yes, sir.
For Facebook, or I'm sure LinkedIn as well.
I think Google. Yeah, Google now. I set that up. I wasn't too sure how it was working, but obviously it works. I got a phone call a few days ago from a
Proof's
guy
in that pudding, right?
Yeah, coming from El Paso. I need a place to watch the football games. Like, we don't have that yet, but so you can Google Roswell, New Mexico, VFW.
That's always part of it too. And that, I'm not going to lie, just being an American Legion post that doesn't have a bar, it's sure a lot harder to recruit when you don't have one, because that's like, that's part of the veteran camaraderie is sitting around having a beer and swapping stories. That's just part of the fun.
But the way I see it, the bar, the canteen and all that, that's the cake.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody wants to.
You got to eat the meat first.
Everybody wants to eat the cake.
Yeah.
But you got to help me bake it.
That's right.
We're in the process of baking that cake. So come on out and help
collecting the eggs and the flour and the sugar right now. Come help us get that. And then we'll start putting it together. But
Definitely.
but that's what I said. It takes more people. So if you're a veteran out there and you're really looking to get involved and to have some fun and to meet some people that probably share a lot of the same kind of passions that you do, come out next Thursday. Come be a part of it. Come hear what is going on there, and who knows, you might just found your new passion. And because
definitely.
That's something. It's a lifestyle as much as it is. You put in as much as you put out, just like anything else you do.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it legit could be where you've got new circles of friends, a new support system for you and your family. So.
And and huge kudos to the community. Roswell is it's very veteran friendly, and I know that there's a lot of there's businesses, there's people here in Roswell. If not for them, we would not. When we first started off, we were like stray dogs looking for a place to take a nap.
Sure.
Can we have a meeting here? Can we use your building for a meeting?
Yeah.
Grace Community Church, they've let us use their rooms now.
They're a great church.
Oh, they're amazing.
They do a lot of great work, not only just at the church, but for the community as well.
Definitely.
Their Celebrate Recovery program. They're home to all of that too, which is again a separate program, but Grace Community Church says, "Come, we'll let our home be your home," and that's what they do.
They let us use their room to meet. There's businesses out there that have been very kind to us, and if not for those places, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah.
But we still have a long ways to go.
Sure.
We
need more of them, but thank you to all the ones that have been stepping up and keeping everything afloat. So
definitely.
Absolutely. Well, good deal. Well, as always, appreciate the visit, Jason. We'll see you next month here.
Yes, thank you.
And by that time, we're going to be hot and heavy in the Veterans Parade and Halloween and all kind of stuff going on.
Yes, what is it, September? So, October. And
it'll be pretty busy right around that time.
It's going to get going.
But I believe, by the way, for folks that are interested, the next Veterans Parade meeting is tomorrow.
It's going to be tomorrow.
And it'll be here, I believe, at this office we're standing in right now. Actually.
I think so.
The JP White building.
I want to say 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I want to say you're right too. My wife is on that committee, but she's been a little busy. So, but I think everything's back tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Jason, appreciate the visit.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
We'll see you next time, and thank you for your service. And
thank you.
Tell everyone at the VFW Post as well. We thank them for their service, and God bless each and every one of them.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Appreciate the time.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A tragic car crash in Roswell leaves 3 people dead. It happened on Main Street when a speeding car going the wrong way at about 2 in the morning struck another car early Sunday. RPD used witness statements and nearby surveillance videos during the investigation. They found that a Dodge Challenger speeding south in the northbound lanes of Main Street struck a Lexus. The driver of the Challenger, 27-year-old Felipe Villa Espinosa, was killed, along with both people in the Lexus. They were 32-year-old David Jonathan Avina and 29-year-old Tyler Armstrong, all from Roswell. And a Las Cruces man has been arrested after initially getting away from police after a pursuit about a month ago. 25-year-old Joshua Lopez was arrested and taken to a hospital, but he somehow escaped the hospital. He had been accused of trying to steal an air conditioner unit in August from the Lowe's store with another man named Miles Luciano. Luciano was shot by police. Lopez was recaptured on Friday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
The federal court ruling yesterday is a major blow to all social media, especially Facebook and Twitter. No more censorship. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. For years, political conservatives have complained that social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter primarily, censored and sometimes closed the accounts of anyone expressing views that the social media companies didn't like. Love or hate them, Trump's lifetime ban from Twitter is the biggest example. But yesterday, a federal court upheld a Texas law prohibiting social media companies with over 50 million monthly users from censoring users' personal views. If it's legal to say out loud, the First Amendment bars Twitter, Facebook, and all the rest from censoring posts. Now, there's only one place for the social media left to fight, the Supreme Court. And you can bet Zuckerberg and Twitter will lead the way. Get my new daily 30-minute podcast for more tech news called Kim Commando Today. Here's a question. Is there anything that matters more than the safety of you and your loved ones? Of course not. So isn't it strange that not all home security companies truly put you first? Old school home security companies set you up with outdated technology, overcharge you for service, and lock you into binding multi-year contracts. That's why I use and trust SimpliSafe Home Security. SimpliSafe protects you with cutting-edge security technology, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. SimpliSafe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors for every room, window, and door. Their monitoring experts use proprietary advanced response technology to visually confirm when a break-in is real. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafekim.com. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafekim.com. Once again, that address, simplysafekim.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like all the moist air will stay west of the mountains for now, and that means a lot of sunshine for us. We'll stay pretty warm. Our high in the low to mid-90s today, and a little bit breezy during the afternoon hours. Mid-60s and clear for the overnight hours, and then Wednesday and Thursday look about the same with afternoon highs near 90 and lots of sunshine. Friday, low 90s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Got a couple of scores from last night to pass along to you. In boys soccer, Goddard wins a marathon against Clovis in Clovis by a score of 4-3. That went into 2 overtimes. Goddard is now 12-2 on the season. Wow. In volleyball action, Roswell's now 8-3 after beating Portales at home by a 3-1 count. The first set was 30-28, so this was a tight match for the Coyotes, Lady Coyotes, who come out victorious. Tonight, in girls soccer, you've got Goddard at Chaparral, boys soccer, Roswell at Lovington, as well as NMMI at home against Portales. Volleyball action, Goddard playing at home against Clovis. Goddard is 5-1 after having beaten Roswell on last Thursday and Gadsden on Saturday. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve is expected at its latest meeting to raise its key short-term rate by a substantial 0.75 of a point for the third consecutive time. Another hike that large would lift its benchmark rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, to a range of 3% to 3.25%, the highest level in 14 years. Former President Bill Clinton is calling on governments, businesses, and other prominent institutions to come together and help a world that is, quote, on fire, as he reconvenes the Clinton Global Initiative, the meeting of international leaders for the first time since 2016. JBS has agreed to pay $20 million to settle a lawsuit with consumers that accused the giant meat producer of conspiring with other meat companies to inflate the price of pork. The latest meat industry settlement will likely reinforce concerns that the White House, members of Congress, and trade groups have raised about how the lack of competition in the industry affects prices. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
I'm Mitch Krakowskis, Vice President of Strata Production Company, a local oil and gas business in Roswell. We must have representatives like Greg Nibert who know the economic drivers of this community and New Mexico. Greg has pushed back on efforts by liberal Democrats who are against oil and gas. With over 39 years' experience, Greg Nibert knows the jobs local oil and gas companies create, the opportunities we provide, and the prosperity we bring to our communities. Oil and gas accounts for over 40% of the state budget and has allowed our state to provide raises to educators and state police, and the rebate checks you received. Please vote for Greg Nibert for State Representative, District 59, to keep a strong conservative voice in our legislature.
I'm Greg Nibert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to two amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Buying a sewing machine from a big box store or online might seem like a bargain, but in this case, you really do get what you pay for. Just the machine. No lessons, no help with figuring out why it isn't working the way you expect, and no one close to fix it. Buying locally from an authorized retailer may cost a little more, but in the end, it will save you time, money, and aggravation. Come see me, Chris Ann, at So Easy Sewing, 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell, and let me show you why it pays to shop local. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We'll have Dr. Sean Powell join us, president of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. And in the bottom half of the hour, the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office will join us and give us an update there. So don't go away. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A major hurricane is lashing the Turks and Caicos with torrential rains and very high winds.
We can expect, the maximum intensity of Fiona while it's over Turks and Caicos to be anywhere between 115 and 125 miles per hour.
The National Hurricane Center's Lisa Bucci. President Biden pledges ongoing federal help for a U.S. territory that was slammed by the storm.
In a Monday phone call, the president told Puerto Rico's governor that the number of support personnel from the federal government will increase in the coming days. More than 300 personnel are already on the island, and Mr. Biden has dispatched the FEMA administrator to Puerto Rico to meet with state and local officials.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, forecasters say Fiona could whip up heavy surf and dangerous rip currents along the eastern seaboard of the U.S. in the days ahead. Democrat Tammy Baldwin, the latest U.S. senator to contract the coronavirus.
Senator Baldwin announced Sunday she has been diagnosed with COVID but was suffering only mild symptoms. She also said via Twitter she has been fully vaccinated and boosted. Since senators returned from the August recess, fellow Democrats Jackie Rosen of Nevada, Bob Menendez of New Jersey, and John Ossoff were all diagnosed with COVID. Baldwin is her party's lead negotiator for the Respect for Marriage Act. Absences by fellow senators forced her to announce last week the bill would be put on hold until after the midterm elections. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Democrat sheriff of Bexar County, Texas, launching an investigation of the migrant flights to Martha's Vineyard that were authorized by Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis defends the flights, saying they were voluntary and the illegal immigrants signed consent forms after being given information about where they would be going if they decided to board a plane. On Wall Street right now, the Dow down 366 points. The S&P is off 45. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
An increasingly dire humanitarian situation in flood-ravaged Pakistan, where disease is claiming more lives. Public health officials say the disease threatens to unleash a second disaster on top of the destruction and death caused by the flooding.
With many parts of the country still underwater, millions remain homeless in Pakistan. Here in Sindh province, the worst affected. Hundreds of thousands of families are living in the open air, in basic makeshift camps with very little access to clean water or food. Stagnant water has become a breeding ground for mosquitoes, presenting another serious risk and a sharp rise in waterborne diseases.
The BBC's Rajini Vajanavan. Warning that the world is in great peril, the head of the UN says leaders who are meeting in person for the first time in several years must tackle conflicts and climate catastrophes, increasing poverty and inequality. News and analysis, townhall.com. Charges have been filed in what could be the largest drug bust of its kind.
Federal authorities in Rhode Island say the seizure of more than 660,000 counterfeit Adderall pills containing methamphetamine has led to charges against one man. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 27-year-old Dylan Rodas has agreed to plead guilty to possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. The pills were seized earlier this year. They had a street value of about $4.6 million. Officials believe it's the largest seizure of methamphetamine-laced fake Adderall pills in the U.S. Under a plea agreement, authorities are seeking a 10-year prison sentence for Rodas. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Prime Minister Liz Truss has kicked off her first visit to the U.S. as Britain's leader with an admission that a UK-U.S. free trade deal is not going to happen for years. Truss spoke while on her way to the UN General Assembly in New York. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So they go guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hey, if you're listening to the interview last hour and you were catching about the Veterans Parade meeting being tomorrow, that interview aired yesterday, so it's tonight.
It's tonight.
6 p.m. Right here, actually. Right here.
Right here.
Well, next room over.
Yeah.
But yeah, same.
In this office.
Same office. Yeah.
Same suite.
I saw a few minutes ago a video on Twitter, and I don't get it.
Okay.
It's Jimmy Kimmel that shared it.
Okay.
You know Jimmy Kimmel's sidekick, Guillermo?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a bit with Guillermo.
Okay.
I think it's an advertisement for a new product, but they set it up like a prank, but it's not a prank. So I don't get it.
Okay.
So Guillermo's out on the streets, I would assume in L.A. or New York or wherever Kimmel does his show at. And he's sitting out there and he's got people on the street and he's like, hey, you want to try this Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal? And so, yeah, sure, I'll try Cinnamon Toast. So they sit there with a box of Cinnamon Toast and then the people eat it and they're like, oh, this is good. It's like, oh, it's got a kick to it. What's going on? And he goes, it's Cinnamon Toast Fuego. And it's Fuego Cinnamon Toast, but it's like Cinnamon Toast with a little, I guess, spicy kick.
Right.
And of course, everyone's like, it's different, but it's good. I like it. So I don't know if it's a prank to be funny on the show, because if it was, it failed miserably.
Right.
But I think it's really one of these cross-promotional, like Cinnamon Toast has a Fuego cereal, because everyone's reaction was like, not like, oh my, what? Not like spitting out cereal or anything that
they weren't disgusted
you were
by
trying to get as a comic reaction. So I'm guessing it was some weird joke to present Cinnamon Toast Fuego. It's not a joke. It's really spicy cinnamon toast, and it tastes good. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Let's see.
But it's just weird marketing to me.
You know what? You're not wrong. This is I'm not gonna. That's a 5-minute video. Okay. But apparently, yeah, there was a limited edition Cinnamon Fuego Toast Crunch. And one YouTuber deems it the worst cereal of all time. So yeah, this is it was a legit cross promotion.
Okay,
I guess.
Well, the people in the video liked it, so I don't know what was trying to be had here. I guess, or are they? Maybe the joke was it's legit. Ha ha. I don't know. I don't.
It's really bad branding, is what it sounds like.
I don't understand it at all. I don't get the joke there. I don't know if it's supposed to be a joke or trying to be witty in marketing. I don't know. It just doesn't. It does not. I don't get it.
Everything is all like advertising has become so like meta now, especially like celebrity endorsements and stuff. Because, and I understand that this generation or that the generation thereafter doesn't like to be advertised to. I get that, but they're constantly inundated with it.
Oh yeah.
It just sounds like it was just like an ad that missed.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, and I'm not trying to state who's funnier than who, although you probably could figure out who I think in my discussion here, but Conan and Andy did the Prego thing during COVID with the spaghetti, and they were like remote, and they were like wiping each other. That was funny.
Right.
This was just weird.
You know
At the end of that, I was like, that's funny.
You're saying everything you need to say exactly right there. Those two, specifically Conan, but Conan and Andy together, they had this ability. There was a bit, and I think they only did it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it was during the height of the pandemic. They were doing shows, but the only member of the audience was Andy.
Yes,
and he wasn't too impressed with Conan.
I know.
Which always meant, Like
well later on, didn't they put a bunch of cutouts, and then Andy's like amongst the cutouts?
I think it was later. But the one that stands out in my head is Conan tells a joke, and it was a pretty funny joke.
Yeah.
And it cuts to, you hear like the band like da da. It cuts to the audience, and he's like, "That's funny." That made me laugh hard.
I remember those. Those were good. And then, but I think towards later on, it was like, who's in the audience tonight? It's like we got Mr. T from the A-Team. We've got and it was literally like, and here's Suzanne Plachette.
I think at one point didn't they like do the dancing silhouette thing for Home Alone?
Yeah,
they had him moving with ropes and stuff.
So
you can do targeted advertising. You do stuff like that and make it funny.
It was for Prego sauce.
That sounds
those
like
real funny ads to me.
That sounds like marketing gone wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't get the Fuego thing.
That being said, I do
want to try
curious to try it.
Yeah, now that I'm like, that's something we would be doing right here on this show. So maybe
I feel like there's been we
get a hold of some
year of products that have just come out as like a challenge, just like for like influencers / morning show radio hosts.
It's a popular industry right now.
Challenge foods.
Yes, exactly. Well, you give everybody the internet and a camera and free time. This is what happens.
Right.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. But yeah, if you see it, I'll be on the lookout. But if you happen to see some, scoop up a box or a bag or whatever.
I'm a father of two. I end up on the cereal aisle more often than not.
Yeah, you do.
And that's just for me. That's not
How
for
about
them.
the say count?
Don't judge me.
I'm not.
It's a long Friday, all right?
I'm not judging you. I'm right there with you. Like, I would go with the Cocoa Puff.
That box was full when I got here. There's like 2 bowls left.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I'm surprised there's that much left. It's not that big a box. It is 8:12. Here's what we have on tap for this hour. We're going to have Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell join us here in just a bit, give us an update there, and talk about Bond C. When you vote here, of course, early voting starts next month, and then Election Day in November here. But we'll talk about that and what's happening at the college with Dr. Powell in just a bit. Later on in the hour, about 1:45 or so, we'll have the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us, give us an update on what's going on there. Probably talk a little fair, as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair is right around the corner. So probably a little fair talk. That'd be fair to say. I saw that Larry Hobson is named Grand Marshal for the 100th anniversary fair this year. So I just saw that on Roswell Daily Record's Facebook page about an hour ago. So good news there. Maybe talk a little bit about that with the Extension Office too. So before we do any of that, though, let's take a look at your weather, which really isn't nothing exciting. It's a whole lot of sunny, low 90s this week. That rain, I don't know what happened there. That was a surprise.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like all the moist air will stay west of the mountains for now, and that means a lot of sunshine for us. We'll stay pretty warm. Our high in the low to mid 90s today, and a little bit breezy during the afternoon hours. Mid 60s and clear for the overnight hours, and then Wednesday and Thursday look about the same with afternoon highs near 90 and lots of sunshine. Friday, low 90s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 79%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today, high of 92 expected. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight. Expect an overnight low of 65 degrees with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, 93 tomorrow. Winds be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 64 degrees. And south winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the rest of the week, on Thursday, sunny, 93 for a high. Southeast winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny and 94 expected. And then more of the same for the weekend, at least Saturday, sunny and 92 on Saturday. A little cooler on Sunday, not much, but sunny skies, 88 the high on Sunday. All right, it is 15 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute commercial break. Then Dr. Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Welcome to Constitution Education Minute. The First Amendment to our Constitution contains 5 very important liberties. Can you name them all without looking? If not, how do you know when any of them have been violated? The opening clause of the First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law. Since it mentions Congress specifically, this restriction is placed upon the government, not on the people. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, which means no mandated national religious denomination and no restrictions of individuals or groups living and exercising their faith without violating others' rights. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. These liberties are ours. Know and understand what they are, and let's preserve, protect, and defend them for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. Constitution Education Minute, sponsored by Republican Party of Eddy County.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
I'm State Representative Greg Nybert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chavez County is not immune. Chavez County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nybert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Or snicker. It's your life. Do what you want. I don't care. Good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, President of Eastern New Mexico University Roswell, Dr. Sean Powell, back with us. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you, Mike, for having me today. I appreciate the chance to come and be on the air with you.
It's always great to chat with you. And actually, when Dr. Powell first got to Roswell here about 4 or 5 years ago or so, him and I started Leadership Roswell together. So we kind of, when he was new to town, that's when we met. So,
and we just have to put out the Leadership Roswell 2019 class, of course, is the best one.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, I don't know why everyone's trying after this point. We nailed it that year, and it's all downhill from there. So,
but appreciate the Chamber and Rick Kraft and all the work they do for the Leadership Roswell program. But 2019 is the best class. That's all there is to it.
Which, by the way, ENMUR has always been a constant supporter and user of the program. Many of yourself included, but many professors and leadership at the college have or will be going through the Leadership Roswell program. So
yeah, I think leadership development is something that we're obligated to do as an organization, and the Leadership Roswell program, again, that the Chamber puts on and Rick Kraft directs, is just awesome the way that they do it. Yeah. And we like to do that experience with a variety of individuals from campus. I think we've had 3 people in the last couple of years go each time.
Yeah.
So this year we're excited to have more people in that program.
Yeah, it's a great program, but I would also say it would not be a great program without the support of ENMUR, because there's a lot of things that happen in that program, and it wouldn't happen without support of the college. So, I from my perspective, I can thank you for that support and that continued partnership with Leadership Roswell.
Well, we enjoy that partnership, and there's lots of other members of the community, as you know, that contribute to the success of that program.
Absolutely. It takes a village.
We're just happy to be a partner in that
Absolutely.
effort. Yeah.
So we're at that time of the year where it's very busy. Election cycle's going on. Though not a presidential election, it's still a pretty just a lot of people are paying attention to this election here. So there's a lot of I imagine voter turnout will be good this time, and hopefully, as always, we want it to be good. But when everyone's worrying about who to vote for governor and state reps and U.S. reps and all those things, there's going to be something on the ballot that is very important to continue doing for the future of really New Mexico and our youth and everybody, because youth's not really it's not just about youth. It's about everyone here, and it's the bonds. You're going to get to the back portion of the ballot. Usually flip it over, and that's on the back there, and then you see your bonds there. Well, this year Bond C is the one that pertains to colleges, and what this is it's basically the community votes on whether the state wants to continue to fund universities across the state, and each university has a project that this funding is going towards, and the New Mexico public gets a say on whether the state gives this every year. The good news is you're not going to see any increases in anything that you do. It's something that happens all the time, but for it to happen, we need the consent of the people. So we're asking you to give consent.
Well, and we appreciate that. I was just thinking of all the points I was going to raise. I guess I can leave now. You got it under control.
Go get your next appointment.
Yeah, when I came up, Tanner said, doesn't Donna usually come up here? I said, yes. And I said, I come up every 2 years. And it's for the GEO bond. And you're absolutely right. The GEO bond, it's a general obligation bond. It's put out every 2 years, and it's a way for higher education institutions, so the 2-year campuses, the 4-year institutions, to look at capital funding. There's absolutely no tax impact on this. So if it passes, there's not a tax increase. If it fails, there's not tax money that's going to be sent back to you.
Yeah.
This is the result of bonds that were purchased maybe 10 years ago. And what the voters are actually voting on is the ability to sell those bonds.
Gotcha.
And so it goes through this 2022 midterm election, and then it'll go to the legislative session in 23 in Santa Fe for approval to sell the bonds, and then the governor has final authority to say yay or nay on it. This year, the bond sales are for $215 million. As you mentioned, it's across the state, so it's a statewide general obligation bond. We've had success in these bonds in the past. Since I've been here, I came in 2018, and so this is my third GEO bond campaign, and Chavez County has supported these efforts in the past. Our project this year, and I'll also talk about the one for the New Mexico Military Institute, we do these together.
Yes, and right here in Roswell, directly, those are the two institutions. But if you live in Eddy County or any, the College of Southwest or any there, they receive benefits from these too. So it's statewide. It's just here in Roswell. NMMI and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell are the big benefitters of this. So.
Absolutely. And so our project is to put in some sprinkler systems for fire suppression and to increase the safety for the students, faculty, and staff in 3 of our buildings. We have a facility master plan, and we go through that plan, and I arrange the projects that have to do with safety, with future growth for the campus, with just infrastructure. And as we were talking during the break, one of the things about being on former Walker Air Force Base is there's a lot of pieces to it that have to do with infrastructure that have to be repaired.
It is a hodgepodge of new with, some of the renovations and upgrades, but at the end of the day, many of those facilities were built during World War II era, and some of them are still in use today, and some of them are showing that they were built in World War II and need to be rectified here.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I think statewide, the total ask is $215 million. And for us here in Chavez County, our project is a $3.3 million project. And the one for the Military Institute is a $5 million project. Now, the parts that go into this is that we have to kick in a quarter of that funding from the campus.
Okay.
So we're asking for $2.475 million, and the Institute's asking for $4 million for the expansion of their dining hall.
Okay.
And what they want to do in their project is they're working on a building that was built in 1915. And when you talk with General Grizzle about this and the other folks at NMI, it's the fifth renovation of that building.
Ooh.
And they want to expand the size of the dining hall to allow for seating in one area for 1,000 individuals. And they're looking at some other options in terms of how to best prepare the cadets and provide communication channels so all the cadets can be gathered at one time in one space. And so that's one of the things about this dining facility.
Which is probably very important for them, considering many of their students, they're on campus, all the time. So it's not like Eastern where they go home at the end of the day. Here, that's their whole life. So that camaraderie, that centralized type meeting places are much more useful or needed at a facility like that. So.
Well, and I think in the academy model where you have the military operations that are ongoing, and the way they share information from the individual to the squad to the platoon level, and then through their organization with the companies, the dining hall expansion makes sense.
Absolutely.
To allow
probably long overdue is what I'm guessing, but
well, like I said, General Grizzle talks about 5 renovations to this building that have been made over the last 107 years.
And
so.
With their institution, they also have the burden or blessing, depending on how one looks at it, of they have so many great historical buildings over there. But with that comes the caveat, you have to treat them a certain way, maintain them, certain things. You just can't knock them down and build a new fancy skyscraper there. There's rules, and so that creates another set of logistics that they have to deal with that other places do not. So it's unique challenges they have over there.
Yeah, and I think they enjoy the status of being on the National Historical Register.
Yeah.
However, as you indicated, there's some things that you can and can't do to those buildings, especially the outside facades of those buildings.
So these bonds really help them for that kind of stuff because it can get – so for them to do work over there, it might be a little bit more expensive than, say, even Eastern would have to do because of those rules and things they have to apply to. But that being said, like if for instance, if you love the new automotive facilities and everything out at Eastern right now, you can thank the bonds for that because our last bond that everyone passed, thank you for that, caused that to happen. And if you like some of the security and lights and things that have been replaced around the campus over the years, that was from bonds as well too. So those are the kind of projects that Eastern has been really working on here in Roswell. And like you said, we were talking earlier about some of the drainage stuff, and that's kind of where attention's being focused this time.
Right. We have some infrastructure projects. We have a sewer sanitation and restroom renovation that's getting ready to kick off. And I think, as you mentioned, the surveillance and the exterior lighting for those surveillance cameras are projects that are still ongoing due to some supply issues in terms of getting the LED lighting.
The world of COVID is still here. It was supply and demand goes, for sure at least.
Yeah,
so.
we met with the contractor last week, and they weren't supposed to get any cameras in until November, but they got in a set of 50, so they're going to start installation of those cameras, so we're excited about that.
Some fell off the truck.
Somehow they showed up in New Mexico. Yeah.
Good deal. So what we're asking now, I know Dr. Powell can't say vote for. He's not allowed to. I can. He's just trying to tell you to say, it's here. We really appreciate if you vote for this here. But what I can tell you is it's no impact on you. It's not going to impact your life as far as negatively at all. You're not going to see any increases in your taxes or any of that kind of. You're not going to see any change in your finances. And at the end of the day, this is money to help our institution. So yourself or your next generation of family will have great facilities and great education opportunities here in Roswell, New Mexico. And that's all you're ensuring by voting yes on Bond C.
Well, appreciate that support. And I think the other thing just to understand is we try to work with local contractors and subcontractors. So we try to keep those funds that come from
In-house.
the state and the county. And, we want to benefit our local community.
That's good for our gross receipts and everything else, which the city appreciates very much too. So yeah, you're right. It is it is a reciprocal type, and which is great. That's kind of how business and how the community should work. Everyone does their little part, and everyone's little contribution helps make everything go. And that's kind of that fits that mold nicely. So
Well, in our specific project, the fire extinguishing systems or the sprinkler systems, the idea behind it too is K through 12, the public education have different requirements than higher education or HED does in terms of what's necessary in order to offer classes. We have an early college high school on grounds that works in conjunction with RISD. And in terms of those operations, this would allow them to teach more high school classes in more buildings on campus.
So it'll actually create a stronger partnership between the RISD and the college, because now with facilities and things, you can offer more. So
they can definitely move into different buildings that they haven't been able to use.
So if the RISD is looking to expand programs, do things like this, you're like, hey, we're ready to let's clear it, let's do it, let's make it happen. We've got the stuff to do that. So
absolutely,
because that's I love this trend in education now. We know obviously education, everything's focused on STEM and all that, but I think we're getting much better at that transition of partnershiping high school education and college, making that transition more seamless or more, or giving people more options to where it's not like, okay, you just graduated high school, now you got to go to get your degree. I don't care what it's in, general, whatever, you just got to go get a degree. I don't care. Now it's like, no. What are you wanting to do? You want to do air conditioning and things? Awesome. We're going to set you up in high school to start, and you can start some of the training right now. And then when you graduate from high school, we can seamlessly move you into air conditioning. And in a year or two, you're going to be fully certified to do this, and you're writing your own ticket. And for some people that might work, but then they were like, no, I want to be a lawyer. Okay, well, we can start some of that right now and transfer that into college. And then when you're ready to go to law school, that seamlessly is going to transfer too as well. And so I like that the future's going in that direction, because I think that's been a big hurdle in education, I think, for people making that transition, like what's next after high school. And I think this is all part of that, making that giving people more options and more opportunities.
Well, and I just know locally here in Chavez County and Artesia, the areas that we serve for the geographical area of responsibility that our campus has, we've had good meetings with the superintendents and the administration from Dexter and Lake Arthur and Hagerman, as well as Artesia and RISD. And so I feel like they have the opportunity, and we have the opportunity to reach out to students. And as you indicated, is it a career path where you're going to go into career technical education, whether that's in HVAC or automotive or aviation maintenance, welding, or in the health fields, whether it's the nursing program, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, EMS, occupational therapy assisting, any of those programs, we can provide a pathway for those students in high school to be successful.
Absolutely. So it's really, I know we're getting off, but we're on top here. All this really points back to on these bonds, and all of this is part of that cog and that big piece, and why it's important for you to vote for these bonds. And Bond C, like I said, is covering the colleges. There's also going to be one for libraries and things. I'm not sure if the Eastern Library gets benefit from that as well too, but every public library, so our city library, the school libraries, the college libraries. I'm not sure if it's Bond B or D, or is it B this year? That's another one. I will also say you're doing nothing but good by voting yes on that one too. So.
Right, and one of the things that I just like to say is that the library at ENMU Roswell and at NNMI are both open to the public. People may not understand that, but those are public libraries, and we do.
You need to do
state
some
funds.
research. Come on in. Yeah.
And if you want to use the resources, absolutely, contact us, find out when the libraries are open.
Can they check out materials and things if they're not a student? Or
There's ways for that to happen.
You can get a membership or a library card of some kind to allow you to take stuff out of the library too.
Right.
But if by all means, if you don't find what you're looking for in one, please go to the other. It's a community center. It's a place for community learning, and there's so many programs that we, the community, can be involved with and be a part of at the college that technically you don't have to be enrolled in as a student to participate in. I know we talk about the pool and stuff during the summer, but there's so much more to that campus that's available to the public, for the public, that you technically don't have to be an ENMUR enrolled student to participate in. So when we vote for these bonds too, and you're like, well, I'm never going to college anytime soon, or my kids are done great. Well, great, but you know what? In a little while, you might want to take a class out there. Be like, I always wanted to do some PE stuff, or I wanted to take an art class, or you know what? I always wanted to go back and, I didn't do so history. I want to go back and take that's just it. You can take classes and do things out there that aren't for a degree plan. It's just self-enrichment, You're retired now. You always wanted to do something here. Take a class, just enrich yourself and have fun, enjoy it.
Well, and I was looking at the ages of our students. We pulled that report a couple of weeks ago. We still have some tweaking to do, but at that time it was from age 14 to 75.
Yeah. So
in terms of the student age population.
Very broad and very diverse. There isn't no atypical college student or, age group or bracket anymore. It's, are you a human being? Are you trying to get better? Right. Then you're the atypical college student now. That's what it is.
And I think the other thing just to keep in mind is there's always a need for, HVAC or automotive tech, welders, whatever it happens to be. And those career tech ed experiences are available.
And most of them are all making pretty good livings and doing well with supporting their family and things like that. You don't see a lot of electricians or HVAC folks that are certified and out of work. If they are, it's because they want to be.
Right. Absolutely.
Dr. Powell, is there anything we didn't get the chance? Of course, if you have any questions about anything we talked about, or if you want to learn more about classes, the ENMUR's website, roswell.enmu.edu, will take you to everything. I encourage you to like and follow ENMUR's Facebook page. I know you do your like fireside chats and things from time to time on there, and it is really a great conduit for learning about campus life and what's going on, and just kind of staying in tune with what's going on there. It's a good resource for that.
Well, and I want to express appreciation for Donna Rossione for, being the voice of the campus on your radio show.
Oh, yeah.
And, helping us with our social media, Facebook. We're also doing Instagram and some of the other TikTok.
You're not in your office getting the latest on social media, Dr. Powell?
Well, I can tell you.
You're not Snapchatting it up in there?
Facebook is about my limit. I
hear you. I'll stalk around on Twitter just to see what's going on, but I don't chime in. And Instagram I don't understand, and I don't understand anything past Instagram. So So if you're like Snapchat or LinkedIn, I work as a DJ, so I don't have a job I deem important enough to have a LinkedIn account. So
well, I have Facebook and LinkedIn. The campus has all of those. Donna did a survey of student media preferences, and she had over 200 students respond. This was about a year ago, and it broke it out by age group. And what I found out is Facebook is groovy because it's for the folks that are 55 and older.
Yeah,
and so I said,
us old people ruin Facebook according to young people. That's what I hear. So
but TikTok is much more appealing to the younger generation for sure. For the for college
I get if you're just looking to watch things. That's what. But if you're contributing, you gotta come a little bit better prepared, I think. But anyway, please. But yes, if make an appointment, talk to. This is probably a pretty good time to talk with counselors and things. If you're thinking about starting in the spring semester, I know, of course, the campus they're going to be gearing up. Probably midterms right about now here, and then finals just about a month or two away. And but if you're looking to maybe start in the spring here, now's a good time to start talking with counselors and sit down and coming up with a plan and getting it all lined up for January when it all rolls around for the spring semester here.
Well, and we actually have an 8-week semester that'll be starting in a few weeks. And one of the programs that I haven't mentioned is our CDL program, and it runs on the 8-week cycle.
Gotcha.
And so if someone's interested in getting their CDL license, we would encourage you to get with our academic advisors and look at those options for this upcoming 8-week session.
Another one of those jobs that once you got that CDL, you can probably write your ticket. You'll have people clamoring to hire you. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, good deal. So, well, thank you, Dr. Powell, as always. Appreciate the visit.
Thank you.
And we don't have to see you again in 2 years. You can come again sooner than that.
I'll talk with Donna.
See if Donna lets you. All right.
See what the schedule is. But again, appreciate the chance to be here today, and thanks for taking time to talk about Bond C and Bond B.
Anytime. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. It is 8:41. Let's pause for news and your Wall Street business update, and then we're going to have, I believe, the folks in the extension office are here, so we'll talk with them on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A tragic car crash in Roswell leaves 3 people dead. It happened on Main Street when a speeding car going the wrong way at about 2 in the morning struck another car early Sunday. RPD used witness statements and nearby surveillance videos during the investigation. They found that a Dodge Challenger speeding south in the northbound lanes of Main Street struck a Lexus. The driver of the Challenger, 27-year-old Felipe Villa Espinosa, was killed, along with both people in the Lexus. They were 32-year-old David Jonathan Avina and 29-year-old Tyler Armstrong, all from Roswell. And a Las Cruces man has been arrested after initially getting away from police after a pursuit about a month ago. 25-year-old Joshua Lopez was arrested and taken to a hospital, but he somehow escaped the hospital. He had been accused of trying to steal an air conditioner unit in August from the Lowe's store with another man named Miles Luciano. Luciano was shot by police. Lopez was recaptured on Friday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve is expected at its latest meeting to raise its key short-term rate by a substantial 0.75 of a point for the third consecutive time. Another hike that large would lift its benchmark rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, to a range of 3% to 3.25%, the highest level in 14 years. Former President Bill Clinton is calling on governments, businesses, and other prominent institutions to come together and help a world that is, quote, on fire, as he reconvenes the Clinton Global Initiative, the meeting of international leaders for the first time since 2016. JBS has agreed to pay $20 million to settle a lawsuit with consumers that accuse the giant meat producer of conspiring with other meat companies to inflate the price of pork. The latest meat industry settlement will likely reinforce concerns that the White House, members of Congress, and trade groups have raised about how the lack of competition in the industry affects prices. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
Fried for me, but I'm not a catfish. It is 8:44, and joining us in studio this morning, we got the trifecta here from the Travis County Extension Office. Tamara, Drew, and Andrea all joining us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good. Y'all look happy, chipper, so that's good news.
Yeah.
You know,
you have that coffee. So
there it is. But kind of a busy time of the year for the Extension Office. For Andrea and the 4-H side, it's been busy all summer, and now it's kind of...
It's still busy through
It's
fair.
still busy, but you're getting to kind of the climax of the season, right? You know, coming up here in a few weeks as well. But fall planting's probably keeping you pretty busy, Drew. And
fall plantings, harvesting all the corn and everything else going on right now.
And, of course, the fall, Tamara, that's when a lot of times your diabetic cookbooks, a lot of people start thinking about the holidays are right around the corner, so people are going to start thinking about the holiday. So you're probably gearing up for all of we're kind of transitioning to that season right now.
We do. We have a lot of things scheduled. We've got Eastern Fair at the first part of October, which we're heading into, and then
Kitchen Creations is the end of October.
Yeah.
So if they've been diagnosed with diabetes, now's the time to get signed up. And then we are headed into Christmas Showcase November the 15th.
Yeah. By the way, whatever fair food you eat at the fair doesn't count calorie-wise. So it doesn't matter for Kitchen Creations.
That's good to know.
The rule is, though, it's on fairground property. If you take it off, it counts double. It counts double. So if you take that giant corn dog off campus, it's going to count double. But if you eat it on the fairgrounds and walk up, you're good to go.
You just got to keep walking.
It's
it
healthy.
Off, right?
It's the key. Just keep moving. So you can throw that lesson in for the class. I'm sure you'll be, yeah, right. Don't listen to me for health tips. I'm that guy online with a peanut butter sandwich and follow me for more recipes. But as far as the ag side of things, what's kind of the focus right now for everybody?
Well, actually, Saturday we are starting a series at the library where it's going to be gardening at the library. And so if you are interested, I know it's cooling down a little bit outside.
Yeah.
People are getting back out in their yards, although the mosquitoes have been a little rough.
It's just rain. That's the trade-off. You threaten with a little moisture and you get mosquitoes.
That's it. And so we are actually starting a gardening series. It's going to be once a month. It will be every third Saturday. Obviously, we're breaking that with the fourth Saturday of this month. But it is going to be this Saturday at 10 o'clock. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about gardening here in this area in Chaves County, come on down.
Excellent.
And so we'll be doing that at 10 o'clock at the library. This Saturday will be the first one.
And those are free, like just about everything at the library, free of charge. Come on out there. Now, is this geared for everybody, adults, kids, anybody that just wants
Adults,
to grow garden?
kids, anybody who's interested in gardening here in Chaves County.
Good deal. So all you green thumb wannabes.
Yes.
Like your thumb's a little shade of brown at the moment and you're trying to green it up.
Yeah.
Maybe come out Saturday.
That's it. And we're really going to break down and discuss ways you can garden here in New Mexico and kind of break down what you want to do with your own personal garden.
I think this would be a great program for maybe people new to the area. Maybe you grew up in a different part of the country and you loved having your gardens and things. But obviously, New Mexico dirt might be a little bit different than the dirt you grew up in. And so you got to treat it a little differently. And certain things, obviously, certain vegetables and things and flowers grow here that others, maybe where you're from, have zero chance of doing that. And that's where Drew can come in and say, hey, you had a green thumb here, but you got to do this here to make that happen here. And that's where you can learn all that kind of stuff.
Oh, very much so. And then we will also be having CEUs for pesticide applicators license November the 3rd.
Okay.
And it will be at the Eastern Fairgrounds.
And that's very important for folks in that industry and when you're dealing with the pesticide, getting your certifications and knowing, when to, kind of like the gamblers, when to fold them, when to hold them, when to walk away, and when to run on that stuff.
Well, it's definitely needed to continue that at those CEUs so that you get your license renewed for the next year. And then, as always, keep an eye out for the pecan weevil. As the pecans start coming down, start checking your pecans for little BB-sized holes in your pecans. If you're seeing them, give us a shout, and we'll come take a look at them.
The extent that's I think, do you spend half the day just seeing and checking out people's pecans to make sure they're
not half
weevil
the day,
free?
but I do have a lot of questions, and we had all the trap giveaways and trap building workshops that we've had. We're kind of hitting the end of the season, so the adults start kind of stop coming out at the end of September.
But if you do want, of course, Drew had a workshop about a month ago on how to make your own traps and things. If you missed out on that and want some advice or want some know-how, Drew can give him a call. He'll be happy to send you the plans and do all that kind of stuff. So.
That's it. And we'll definitely have some more workshops starting next summer to get ready for the next wave of adult pecan weevils.
Right.
But again, those traps just look for the adults, so we're monitoring for them.
Stay tuned. It'll be nuts.
That'll be it.
Dad joke in 3, 2, 1.
You're good at those.
I am. I don't even have kids. It's weird. Before we talk fair stuff here, I do want to kind of go back to the kitchen creation stuff.
Yes, sir.
Now's probably the time to sign up for these classes, right?
Absolutely.
Don't wait until November, October. Now's the time because those do fill up very fast. They're very popular because you cook food and learn about food. Everyone's like, hey, I want to learn about food and try food and cook food. And so it's a very popular class. So now's the time to sign up. Call the extension office, talk to Tamara, get signed up. Because I hate what usually happens. You get a couple people a week before, a day before, be like, oh, I want to sign up. So it's been full for a month. I'm sorry.
Right. So our Kitchen Creations that kicks off October the 17th, they definitely want to sign up for that one because we do max out at about 20, 25 people just because our facilities and because we do cook at all of those sessions. So they definitely want to call in early. We do have Prevent T2 starting in January, so they have some time. But if they're pre-diabetic or are at risk of diabetes, that is the class for them. And they have a little while for that one.
Yeah, if you went to your doctor and he said, hey, the path you're going down now, you're going to get diabetes, or, the pre-diabetic is that term they use. And so they, in essence, treat you like you have diabetes. And so, but where you're in that point where if you turn it around, you may not need to rely on the medications and things that diabetics need to rely on. So then you're like, hey, let me take that class, and then maybe I can stop from taking a bunch of pills every day or insulin or whatever. It's a big headache. For those folks that have to deal with that. So, and to be honest, you're cooking food. That's why it's pop. I think y'all. Hey, pecan weevils, come on out. We're going to be cooking something.
Hey, there's a lot of pecan recipes out there, I'll tell you.
You ever had a weevil sandwich? We're going to make some right here.
Little added protein, Mike.
So just a tip, and of course, we just had the state fair, and we had some kids do well up in Albuquerque.
Yeah, there was about 11 county kids that participated in the state fair in Albuquerque, and 6 of them made the sale. Of course, other ones they also did well.
Good.
They just didn't make the sale because there's limited slots.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a good fair. I think the kids enjoyed their time up there.
Well, I'm sure it was nice for them to get back to normal with the fair season.
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
been 2 years since we've been there.
Yeah. Granted, they had to do a little less road time last year because it was here. But,
yeah, that wasn't the state fair though. That was the New Mexico Livestock Expo.
The Livestock Expo.
It was different.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they didn't do livestock at the fair last year, if I remember right. And so it was this livestock event.
This was their
opportunity.
Yeah.
So now it was back to normal this year, where they were showing animals, with all the other fair things that were going on, and it was great for probably the first time for some kids to experience that full state fair experience.
Yes, it was.
They were just of their age and get to experience it.
Yep.
So that's great. Now you guys turn your attention to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, which is just a week or two away here. So.
Yes, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
It's just like 2 weeks. Don't tell them 1 week.
I know, yeah. 2 weeks.
Coming up quick enough.
And we do have some things going on during Eastern Fair. Before that, we do have another thing going on at the library tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Tamara and I will be there.
So Drew's got it Saturday. You've got it here for Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we're going to be talking about rockets and 4-H. And so it's open to anybody. You don't have to be in 4-H. You can come and learn about 4-H and about rockets.
Do you guys have a rocket club in 4-H there, a rocketry?
We do have a rocket project, a rocketry project. And so this is kind of just a glimpse of it. We're not actually making the rockets that
But if you have an interest and enough kids come out, maybe this spawns more for this rocketry group. It turns into something from an interest to more official, and they have meetings and build rockets and launch rockets and do all that cool rocket stuff.
Yeah. Last month we did weaving. Was it last month? It seems like it was way longer than that, but
I can appreciate weaving, and I've done some of it. It's fun, but it ain't as fun as rockets. I'm sorry. Things that blow up, this is very cathartic.
Yeah, so if you're available after school, 3 o'clock at the library in the children's area in that room over there, that's where we'll be.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Okay.
And then during Eastern Fair.
And you have to be kids, right?
Well, 5 to 18.
So sorry, adults.
They can come and bring a kid.
Yeah, bring a kid and pretend like it's for them.
Yes, there you
go. You stand there all like, ooh, come on, let's do it.
Yes.
We're all big kids at heart.
We are. During Eastern Fair, it actually started last year, but we actually run the ice cream parlor that Southwest Dairy Farmers used to own.
Oh, you guys are now you're going to be busy that week.
Yes.
Because that's a very popular area.
It is.
I loiter there almost all week. And,
That goes back to that walking. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Calories on
Don't
the
count.
fairgrounds.
I ate a
don't
lot of
count.
ice cream.
As Tamara
Yes.
shakes her head.
Hey, no, I was thinking while he was walking it off, he needed to go through the educational building
I was
and
saying-
go buy those Christmas showcase tickets.
I'll see you in October. But yeah, it's that's great that you guys are going to be doing that. And if you've never been to the ice cream building, I'm telling you, I'm like, I don't need to go in the commercial building. I'm good right here. I don't need to keep going.
Yes.
I'll just stop
Yep.
here and
Stop at the ice cream parlor before you go into the education building or the commercial building, and then you can walk those calories off.
Well, if you go through that way, and then you can sneak through, because in between there, that's like that little area where they sell like green chili
the Mexico
salsas and
store.
all of that kind of stuff. And I have never managed to walk through that spot without spending money. I've yet to do it. Every year I walk, ooh, they got a green chili dip. Let's try that this year. I do it every time.
Yes.
Y'all like it, I do it too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
But great. Now, and of course, if you want, come talk to the kids. If you want to learn more about what 4-H is all about and what that is, please come out to the shows, support the kids. Even if you didn't grow up in ag, no knowledge of what they're doing out there, it's still fun to watch. It's just fun to see these kids work and show their animals. And I know I'd make the joke every year, but it's so cool to watch these little kids that are 60 pounds soaking wet, manhandling these 800-pound steers and pigs and things like that. And just to see them doing that stuff, to me, it's just cool. I just like, I mean, it's fun, but it's just, you kind of like, you get renewed faith in like our future when you start seeing these kids hard work out there. And it's like, all right, maybe our future's in all right hands. We got some good kids out
We
there.
do. We have really good kids.
And so I get reminded of that every year at the fair. So if you've been watching enough news and get just fed up with the world, come out to the fair and you start feeling a little American again, a little bit love of what life's about again and things. So come out, support these kids, and don't forget. It's a Friday night, the junior livestock auction, or is it Saturday? I always forget this year. But at the end of the fair, the big crescendo for the livestock side is the junior livestock auction, which I'll look in the fair book, but usually it's like Friday night or Saturday.
I think it's Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, okay.
Right.
And and that's that's where the kids raise a bunch of money for either college or their next project, animal or whatever they're going to be doing. But it's where the community shows how much we appreciate these kids' efforts and hard works. And so they get ridiculously crazy in the bidding, which is what we want to do. And they overpay for pigs and things, but it's for these kids to understand that. And it's showing them, we thank them for their hard work and their efforts, and saying that you work hard, you do your job in this country, you can be rewarded for that. And it's that reminder. And we as a community just do such a great job of doing that. So I love that tradition.
Our community is really good about supporting not just our kids in Chaves County, but they're also there supporting those kids that come from other counties into Chaves County.
Yeah, they do. From what I hear, and I don't want to give all the secrets away, but like especially if they know there's like a family that's been through a lot of struggle and stuff, and then their kids busting hump working through there. Usually a lot of these farmer ranchers and people types that kind of get, all right, let's bump up this one, help that family out a little bit. And they all look out for everybody. It's kind of just an unwritten rule as part of all.
Yep.
Yeah, we live in a great community, and you really see that in those situations.
You see people's hearts at fair, and that's what I love about it.
Definitely.
So come be a part of it. Come utilize the extension office, and that's the great thing is everything you guys do is either free of charge or next to free of charge, depending on the event. But and that's what the extension office is. It's a resource for everyone in our community, whether it's to for healthy lifestyles, whether it's for the ranching and farming side of things, to growing our next generation of kids for the future here. That's what the extension office is all about. So reach out.
Yes. And also 4-H enrollment, like our new year starts October 1st, but we do have enrollment forms available now for those that are new to the program. So come by our office, pick up a welcome packet, and we'll get you set up with a club and get you going.
Perfect. Get you to 4-H'ing.
Yes.
As a verb. Ever seen it that way before? Give out the phone number if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about here for the extension office.
575-622-3210, and you can come by our office. We're at the south end of the health department building across from the county admin building.
Yeah, on Chisholm.
Chisholm, yep. 200 East Chisholm Street.
200 East Chisholm. That's sweet.
Sweet for.
It's sweet, too. It's sweet as sweet. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. And if we need something sooner between now and next month, reach out. Let me know, because I know there's a lot going on between now and then, and we may not be able to cover it here in the short monthly visit here. So, good deal. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mike. All right, we'll see you next time. It is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
The fourth time he has made a similar statement regarding the island territory. Each time, White House officials rushed to clarify Mr. Biden's statements, explaining there was no change in U.S. policy. China criticized the president's latest comment. Greg Clugston, Washington.
What issues do Americans care about the most heading into the midterm elections? Democrat Party leaders seem to think that abortion tops the list.
Democrats are pumping an unprecedented amount of money into advertising related to abortion rights. The spending underscores how central the message is to the party in the final weeks before midterms. The most intense period of campaigning is only just beginning, and Democrats have already invested more than an estimated $124 million this year into TV ads referencing abortion. That's twice as much money as the Democrats' next top issue, and almost 20 times more than Democrats spent on abortion-related ads in the 2018 midterms. Tasha Stevens reporting.
It's a record. The number of illegal aliens pouring across the border into the U.S. surpassing 2 million in the current fiscal year, which doesn't end until the end of the month. Wall Street, the Dow down 323 points. The NASDAQ is off 68. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
China announcing a major investment in one of the jurisdictions it controls.
Shanghai was hit hard by an extended COVID lockdown earlier this year, prompting an unusual outpouring of anger directed at the authorities on social media. Tuesday's announcement is a clear attempt to turn things around by pouring billions back into the city. The money will be used to build new railway lines and affordable housing, as well as offshore wind turbines and upgraded drinking water facilities. Shanghai's strict 2-month lockdown led its economy to slump almost 14% in the second quarter of the year.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. Palestinian security forces exchanging fire with terrorists in the center of the West Bank's second largest city as angry residents pelted an armored jeep with objects and chased it away. One man was reported dead in that violence. News and analysis at townhall.com. The federal government turns down a request by a regional airline to hire pilots with half the flying experience generally required.
The Federal Aviation Administration says it's in the public interest to uphold the current standards. Republic Airways petitioned to hire first officers or co-pilots with 750 hours of flying time if they completed Republic's training program. In most cases, people need 1,500 hours of flying time to qualify for an airline pilot's license, although pilots with military experience can qualify at 750 hours. Republic argued that its training would be similar to the military's. Keith Peters reporting.
Sweden's central bank raising its key interest rate a full percentage point to 1.75%, saying inflation is too high, undermining households' purchasing power, making it tough for companies and households to plan their finances. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number.
You going to say something? You said hour number
3.
There it is. Crazy Inviernos. I didn't hear 3.
Oh,
I literally didn't
3.
hear you say 3.
I did say 3.
I think you dropped out so hard that I didn't even hear it.
Oh,
Or
really?
like the downbeat of the music, I didn't hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have my headphones on, but I did say 3.
You said it so quietly. I was like, this is a dramatic pause.
And I'm like, why is he not saying nothing? I was like, I said 3. I'm like, it is hour 3. You got me questioning.
There's a real weird dance eye contact going on back and forth between Mikey and I. That's your cue. That's your cue. That's not my cue, sir.
This cue guy's messing things up.
Any good actor knows you study your lines and also the line in to the line you're about to say.
Yes.
I was waiting for my outline.
I read Henry Winkler's Hey, I'm an Actor.
Hey.
That's a Big Bang Theory line. I have no idea if that book actually exists.
I hope it is.
I hope it does too. I hope it's there on Amazon. You can buy it right now. Henry Winkler. Hey, I'm an actor.
See, that works, but it's funny because like I've kind of gone down the wormhole of like finding like every bad B like failed touring comic from like the 90s and early 2000s now has an online school of like how to become a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And they all have the same, it's just like, I understand why you failed as a comic because their shtick is, it's not funny. Like the stuff that they're talking about doing.
Yeah.
It's very like hack stand-up like ideas, like go with alliterations, or talk about your wife. It's just really like hacky stuff. Use sound effects and funny hats. I'm like, oh my god, the Carrot Top School of Comedy.
I am of the opinion that funny's funny. You can teach funny to a point.
Humor is subjective,
but
I will give you that.
People either have the ability or do not, and I don't know. You can develop it to a point, but you're never truly good at it.
That's true.
You've got the bug, the gene, the mindset to do it.
That's true. Now, granted, it's different based on like cultural sensibilities. Like, what always makes me laugh is like, if you ever heard like a French comic, like you ever follow like the Just for Laughs circuit out of like Montreal?
I've heard of it. I don't.
They run
watch it
whole shows in French, and like I've heard like some of the comics that I listen to from like who are English speaking comics. They'll be walking by these rooms where these French Canadian comics are working, and it's always the same shtick. It's like, and they make some sound effect, and then the crowd. That's like their whole thing is funny sounds and like silly ways of saying things.
Sure.
And it works for them. It doesn't work over here. It just really doesn't work on this side of
sure.
On this side of the
But
border.
I think there's still things that truly funny people cross those barriers. Like people that are funny, doesn't matter about culture, experiences, things like that. They just turn those things into funny scenarios. And some people have that ability, some people do not. And,
It's really
and the people that do not, that try to go into comedy, they're handicapped and they don't understand when the people turn on them about it. And I think that's part of the problem is people that are truly funny, they get that. They understand, all right, that didn't land, but I'm going to get something that you relate to. And they figure out ways to do it. And that's what funny people do.
I always love, and most groups have it. There's like that one wet noodle of the group. It's like they really want to be a part of the group. They really want to be in the banter, but they try, they swing and they miss.
Yeah, they just their social cues are just lacking a bit. Or they don't, their ability to read and react isn't always on par.
Right. Now, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes that's me.
Absolutely.
You take a swing and you hope you're going to knock it out of the park. Sometimes you whiff it.
I've cricketed up many a room.
You know what? You got to try. It's the old Gretzky philosophy. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right. But, there's a time, a place. But anyway, I don't know where that started with all that. I don't even know how that got. It all started because we looked at each other and couldn't tell if they traced on your mirror.
We missed vocal cues.
Oh man! So happy third hour. It is indeed the third hour of our Tuesday show here. Indeed. And this hour we're going to replay our interview we had Janine Corbest with the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women. She joined us actually last Wednesday, talking about their next meeting, which is tomorrow, and talk about what's on tap for that. But then we also just talk about what the Federated Republic of Women, what their mission is, what they do, and would love to have more people be a part of
the Federation, brother.
They got championship belts and everything. It's great.
That'd be awesome. See, that would be a draw. Janine, you want to get folks in your group, throw out a title belt.
Yeah, people love a good belt.
I'm a fan of a good belt. I've always liked and admired wrestling titles for the most part, but the one that I want more than anything in my entire life, and if I could just find a company that replicated it, I would spend the money to buy it.
Yeah?
The Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship belt.
That's like green and gold,
It's
right?
green and gold.
Yeah.
So it's Packers colors, number one, but
Nathan's colors
it's
too, by the way.
It's so unique, and I want one so bad. Just for display purposes,
right?
But I've looked online several times.
There is one way to get one.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You got to beat the Kobayashi, sir.
No, sir, you got to beat the
Chestnut.
gut.
Yeah, it's Chestnut. Yeah,
That's right.
Chestnut now.
Joey
not Kobayashi.
Jaws.
Well, you got to beat both
Chestnut.
of them because if you don't, you're going to be in second place.
Oh, that's right. Kobayashi does still compete. I was like, I don't think he competes.
I think he competed last time.
He did, yeah.
Pretty sure he did.
Yep, Stoney competed. So did Kobayashi.
My problem is I can't do the dipping of the hot dog bun in the water thing. That is too much.
It's pretty rough to watch, but. But that's the one that eludes me because I've looked on because there's a lot of replica belt manufacturers online.
People aren't ready to make a replica.
Nobody's doing the Nathan's belt. I don't know if it's that shade of green is copyrighted or what, but man, I would kill for one of those.
I think it's championship food eaters aren't considered athletes.
Athletes.
I did that on purpose.
That's fair enough, but I feel like it's something that maybe I'm the only one that makes it this sought after. But I got to imagine there's food enthusiasts out there, competitive eaters of the next generation.
Well, I'd like to have it to say I have it.
Just what a replica belt.
Collector of things. It'd be a good thing to collect. Maybe start your own belt.
Yeah, just go to just commission my own.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
It's and maybe if I keep putting it out there, maybe the algorithm will pick up on what I'm saying and eventually present me with the opportunity.
Yes, Nathan's championship hot dog.
All power to the algorithm.
No, what you get is a bunch of commercials for Nathan's hot dogs.
Right.
Which are delicious, by
Fantastic.
the way. One of my favorite hot dogs. It's one that usually if I go buy hot dogs, if they don't got Nathan's, I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble.
See, I search for Nathan's championship belt, and all I get is a bunch of other replica belts, including a complete set of 12 championships, none of which are the one I want. Wow, that's significant. That's a belt on a chain.
Wow.
All right.
That's bling.
That's see, I'm not really big on necklaces, but I feel like that's something I could do.
That screams look at me when you walk into a room.
That's the whole thing is I'm at a point where I don't really feel like I could ever pull off a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
Like maybe a watch and a ring, like a wedding ring, but that's pretty much it.
Pinky ring.
Yeah. Well, it's a weenie whistle.
It's you, pinky ring.
But I've just never been that guy, the jewelry guy. You know?
Yeah, me either. I wear a wedding ring. That's
I don't
all
feel
I
like
wear.
I have the chest hair to pull off a necklace.
I don't even wear a watch, and that's because of my left-handedness.
Same. Which when I did wear a watch, I wore it on my left hand.
Yeah,
and it was
no. I wore it on my right, but once the world of the computer started happening, it gets in the way of my mouse use.
Yeah,
so
I kept it on my left hand, but it was just highly inconvenient. And then I started wearing ones that I would buy from Walmart when I was working at the Vision Center, and I got this little like mole thing.
You got cancer.
It's like a wart, and I've had this thing since like 2004. It just popped up, and it's never gone away.
Wow. Get you some Compound W.
Maybe. I mean, I thought eventually they just went away.
No, Compound W is the greatest stuff ever, and I learned this the hard way. I had a wart on my finger like for years.
Mm-hmm.
This was 15 years ago, and I could never get rid of it. I was doing the Dr. Scholl's. I even had the doctor like freeze it.
Right.
And none of that took. One day I was at Target, and I was diddy-bopping through the health and beauty aisle there, as one does.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had opened a tube of Compound W and squeezed it on it was like opened and like some kid, I'm assuming, or maybe some wart-toting, someone needed free Compound W. I don't know.
Man, gotta give you a fix.
But there on the shelf was an open Compound W, and some of the goop squirted onto the shelf that come out the tube there.
Mm-hmm.
The paint was gone from the shelf. It was white, and the paint was clear, and it got eaten away. I said, if anything's going to kill a wart,
I don't want to anymore.
So I got that stuff, and guess what? A week later, wart. I haven't had it since.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have a viewing window to my arm bones.
But you won't have a wart.
Yeah, I won't have a wart, but
I'm telling you that. And so this day, I was like, all right, if I ever get another one, Compound W, because I saw it eat paint off a shelf.
I really hope that the labeling on your Compound W and your Preparation H are vibrantly different, because you do not want to make that mistake.
Well, you toothpaste while you're at it too.
Wow.
All right, it's 9:17. We're gonna play our interview.
On that note,
by the way, makes a good paint thinner too.
Brought to you by Compound W.
Let's take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like all the moist air will stay west of the mountains for now, and that means a lot of sunshine for us. We'll stay pretty warm. Our high in the low to mid 90s today, and a little bit breezy during the afternoon hours. Mid 60s and clear for the overnight hours, and then Wednesday and Thursday look about the same with afternoon highs near 90 and lots of sunshine. Friday, low 90s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 69%. Winds currently out of the south at 10 miles per hour. Sunny 92 for today with winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight mostly clear with an overnight low of 65 degrees and south winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, more of today, like today, it's very similar. Sunny 93 for a high, south winds 5 to 10. Mostly clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 64 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny 93, southeast winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny skies, high of 94 expected, so a little bit warmer there. And then sunny and 92 for Saturday, smidge cooler on Sunday. Sunny, highs expected to reach around 88 degrees there. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview we had last week with Janine Cornbest from the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to two amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically that left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
Find your path to a greater future at Eastern New Mexico University. With degrees offered both on campus and online, ENMU has the flexibility that you're looking for. And with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship, New Mexico residents can now start, continue, or finish their bachelor's degree tuition-free at ENMU. For more information, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
So here comes 3rd and 5.
Only heard here.
Inside the 10. Brady in the gun, 3rd down, snap back.
All season.
Looking around, flushed out. Parsons has sacked him. Parsons again.
Monday night, it's your Cowboys and the New York Giants.
Live from MetLife Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game at 5, kickoff at 6 on Southeastern New Mexico's official Cowboys station, 92.9 The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, we have Janine Cornbest back with us. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good, good, good.
I got all my cheat sheets right here.
Your bevy of notes and documents to inform the public of what's going on.
I have a tendency to forget in this old age of mine. But.
Well, I thought there's supposed to be a time in our lives where it's just accepted that we forget stuff and people are going to have to deal with that. Like when I was a kid and we just older people are like, oh, I'm old, you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? Now I'm getting here. No. And it's like, hey, what happened? Like, I'm supposed to get free passes for everything.
No free passes. You know, we're supposed to be taking the pills to make the brain work, and then I forget to take the pills to make the brain work. So, you know.
I'm not going to lie. One of my life goals was get old enough to be crotchety, and just people chalk it up for me being old.
You know what? I have a tendency to be able to say whatever I want, wherever I want. May not have a lot of friends, but I do not beat around the bush.
There you go. It's like, you can accuse me of a lot of things, but beating around the bush is not one of them.
Exactly. So how are you today?
Doing well.
And Mama's good?
Doing good. Yeah, good. We'll be going to El Paso Friday to for her next doctor's appointment. So that'll be the one that tells us,
yes,
yay, you're good to go.
Well, prayers are with you.
That's what we're hoping for on Friday. But thank you. Yeah. For folks not familiar, the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, of course, the organization joins us here on the radio once a month. But the title's in the name. They're here to educate, support Republican candidates here, not just in Chaves County, but really throughout New Mexico. And really the country.
Correct.
The Republican Party. But this is just the kind of the local. Yeah, the local chapter.
The local chapter.
But one thing we do want to put on your radar is now that we're hot and heavy into the election season, each month the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, and it just so happens it's coming up here.
It is. It is. We've had to change our lineup a little bit. Wednesday, September 21.
Okay, which is a week from today.
A week from today, which is always, when we come on, it's always going to be a week from when we speak on the radio.
You get the 1 week warning kind of thing.
1 week warning. Our lineup was going to be Ronchetti, but he's gotten busy. He's running.
It
hard.
tends to help. It tends to happen. Yeah.
He's running hard. So we have Art Thornton, which is the lieutenant governor.
Yeah, yes.
He's coming in to talk to us. And we snagged Cindy Fuller, our local county
clerk.
County clerk. She's going to come in and she's going to ask or answer any questions you may have. Everything from being a registrar all the way down to the Dominion machines, whatever. I believe they're having a run on those this weekend on Saturday at the Roswell Museum. They're going to test one of the machines out.
Okay.
And then they'll send it to the state and just to test it and make sure we're ready and there's no snags or anything. So she'll be down to talk to us about that.
Okay. And of course, there's been a lot of scrutiny and things about the machines.
There is, and she can answer any questions you have about the voting machines.
Excellent. Very good.
I bet we can get her to bring in a ballot to show everybody.
Get everybody an idea what
they're doing.
And if I remember right, and of course she would know more, but and I don't remember the actual web address off the top of my head, but the state of New Mexico has a website you can go through, and I think there's a link to the clerk on the clerk's office where you can see your sample ballot, but you can literally see your entire voting history in New Mexico. It's a valuable tool, but if you ever want to see your sample ballots, or if you're like, gee, they redistrict, so it's kind of hard to keep track of where you're at sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
that.
We're about 54 days away from the actual voting.
Yeah, so
it's pretty close.
And I'm not going to lie. About a month ago, I thought I was voting for one representative race, and then I turned out it was the other one. So
yes, and you may want to go to the map on the county clerk's office showing where your precinct is, because they've cut Roswell up into, I believe, 3 to 4 precincts.
Yeah.
Where we weren't before.
Yeah, exactly. We're not all in the second congressional district anymore.
Hard.
Yeah,
I can't even keep up with it myself.
Yeah, and just because your neighbor's one does not necessarily mean you're in the same
They
one.
may cut your house right down the center, so you better make sure you read.
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in a different congressional district.
Exactly. So our sponsor for this month is Calico Cow. That is our quilting group over here in town. She is also our treasurer of the group. This will be at the Civic Center or the Roswell Convention Center.
That's every month after these meetings. And so if you haven't, tried the meals there at the Convention Center,
we got
come
3 new chefs.
Very good.
3 new chefs, and their jambalaya is
ooh, I like a good jambalaya.
Absolutely amazing. And this week we're having pasta.
Nice.
So a little bit of Italian. We're having lasagna and sausage lasagna and some pasta primavera, Caesar salad. My favorite, the tiramisu.
Ooh, tiramisu. Yeah.
Tiramisu?
Yeah. Well, my wife is a huge fan of tiramisu.
Oh.
I don't like coffee, and that's where it makes me a little bit.
Well, maybe we could make you one without coffee.
I'd be a chocolate, just straight chocolate?
Straight chocolate.
Oh, then, yeah, I would be your friend.
Yeah, I understand that. So our doors open at 11:30 on that one, and you're welcome to come in, and we sit and talk. We are definitely done by 1.
Okay.
Because
so
everybody
back
to work. We get that. We understand that. We keep moving fast. You're welcome to join the Federated Women. I have the top part of a
really, and to be
somewhere.
honest, you don't have to be
You don't
a
have
woman.
to be a member to go, and you don't have to be a woman.
You just have to be a Republican. That's the
Republican.
only requirement. If you're a registered Republican, we'd love to have you come be a part of it.
Yes.
And if you're not registered at either party, you want to register as a Republican, they can help you do that too.
See, here we go. There's part of our registration paper.
Very
I made it
good.
a little too big so everybody can see what we're going. We are registering for 2023 at this point.
Very good.
2022.
The books are full.
Books are full.
Okay.
I believe we ended up with 160 members.
Okay.
From what my email said, and that's the largest in the state.
That's great.
So we keep trying to stay a little bit larger than the Four Corners.
Sure.
They do pretty good up
Okay.
there.
Well, and it's good. That's not a bad problem to have either. These are good problems. But I'm gonna guess, just a hunch, that is as much work as the women and the are doing to recruit. Mm-hmm. I think the times we live in are as much a recruiting tool as anything else. Right now, people are seeing what's going on, and people are not happy and
far from happy.
Exactly, and so we're starting to see record crowds at these meetings and things.
And you know what? If you are a Democrat and you want to be a Republican, you come on down, and we'll just change your affiliation right there on the spot. We have registrars there.
And I've always been a person that's like, listen to the people, listen to what they're saying. The the DNRs, I've stated my piece on that. I'm like, I'm more pro-America than pro-D or pro-R. But yes, I tend to lean more towards R things.
Understood.
But that if someone who just automatically disclaims someone because there's an R or D in front of them, I'm like, that's so narrow-minded.
It's common sense.
Listen to what they have to say first.
It's common sense, and that's something Americans don't have anymore.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. It's been born and bred out of all of our kids.
I'm going to tell some people's story and I don't know how many people in Chavez County are familiar with this man, but I used to do the morning show in Artesia for about 8 years. And of course, so it very similar to this show, interviewing, the city, county government, things like that. So I would interview one of their county commissioners at the time, and a gentleman by the name of Lewis Derrick.
Okay.
And he's a great man. He's been a long-time commissioner down there. He's mostly retired now, I think. But he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat, and he was a family Democrat, but that's the only thing a Democrat about him. Like you talk to him and know the man is the salt of the earth, good dude.
Exactly.
And I've never heard him say a Democrat policy in all fairness, but because
and a lot of these families are that way. That's just the way they are. But
but if you didn't listen to that man, you're a fool because he was a genius. And I say it like he's not here. He still is with us. He's a genius. But and so that's my point is just take what. Now that being said, you're probably going to, if you're listening here and things, you're probably going to lean a little heavy towards the Republican as far as those point of views and things. But especially in this world, just make sure you hear the side before you just disclose something because there's a D or an R or something like that in front of it.
Well, and we're in that society where you can step in that, close that curtain, and you can vote either way you want. So it's not a definite one way or the other. Some of us are a little stronger than others.
Yeah.
And we don't mind showing it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the ones that are in the Federated Women.
For the state of New Mexico, this is what I say to Democrats right now. And it's like, look at just forget all the semantics. Who's done what, who's this, and who's saying this, and who's saying this. Let me, just look at our history here. Look at the history of this state. Look at the statistics. We're always at the bottom of the list in all those categories that people look at: crime, education, all these, tentpole issues that people. And then you look at lists, and we're always in the 40s or 50th.
Yes.
And every one of those lists, if you look at the history of this state, it has been led by Democrats the whole time.
Yes.
A one party has ruled
and you
this.
wonder why we're 50th.
And that's what I'm saying. And you keep voting the same people in and wonder why the results don't change.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and I don't care what side you're on. Tell me logically how that makes sense. And that's my issue.
They also have to do what's right for the citizens, and it's not what's right for them.
Yeah.
It's not about when you are a service and you come into work for such as counselor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring that up, but counselor, I made a commitment to my citizens and my ward and my city.
Right.
I didn't make it to Santa Fe or whoever is around me. I did it for my citizens, and I'm going to work till I just can't work anymore for them.
Yeah.
Or they, shoot me somewhere along the way. But, however that goes.
Sure.
But we have a few other things going on.
Yeah.
Harry Montoya for state treasurer.
Okay.
We had him last month.
Okay.
But he asked us to set up another deal. So at Pecos Flavor Winery.
Okay.
On Friday, September 16th.
That's this Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah.
At 11:30 to 1.
Okay, so for
our
lunchtime.
Same time.
Okay.
Lunchtime at Pecos Winery.
And by the way, if you haven't had lunch over at the winery,
it's amazing.
I'm not trying to disparage the convention center, but it might give it a run for its number.
Well, you can try both of our places out this week.
Right. You decide.
Go there Friday
eat both
and then
pick your trip.
Come on down on Wednesday. So we're going to listen to Harry Montoya for state treasurer. It's a kind of a meet and greet. There you go.
Very
so everybody
good.
can see it over there.
And you don't have to RSVP. Just come on out, have lunch,
come out,
and listen.
have lunch, enjoy the camaraderie with everybody. If nothing else, come out and just talk.
Yeah. Well, that's what we need a whole lot of that.
Give us your thoughts and your ideas and all of that.
I think most of us probably agree more than we disagree once we sit down and actually
You know what
talk.
we do? It's just sometimes some of us think different than others and we disagree a different way and we're stronger.
Sure.
And our mouth overrides our... But that's just me.
That never happens to me.
Never happens to me. So So let me mention these others just a little bit. Here's some of our other Republicans. We have District Court Judge David E. Finger, and we have District Court Judge Anna Marie Lewis.
Okay.
Justice of Supreme Court Thomas Montoya.
Okay.
Justice of Supreme Court Position 2 Carrie Morris. Justice of the Court Appeals Barbara V. Johnson, and Judge of Court Appeals Gertrude Lee.
You know what? And this is something I'd like to just share with people here. You look at, because, we all get all charged up about our representative races or state legislature races or, county commission, city council races.
Exactly.
But we kind of ignore or just glaze over judge races here.
Judges are very important.
Those are to be honest, probably one of the
hardest.
more important, because it is at the end of the day, it's the least political position out there. And you almost just want a judge that interprets what the law. That's, their job is not to dictate policy and create policy and things like that. They're there to interpret what policy's been made and impact the appropriate measures to violate or not violate those things in place. And so obviously, you want some people that know when to be compassionate, when to throw the hammer down and things like that. But just the minutia of the court system in New Mexico, we need as many qualified people in these judge positions to fix. That's our, when we talk crime problems and things, at the end of the day, the legislature makes all these laws and things, if there's not a court system that can handle it, it doesn't really matter laws they create and things.
And politics does not need to be in it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. People carry politics farther than they should go.
Yeah.
They need to stop when you're voted in or not voted in. They need to stop, and you need to do your job.
Yeah.
For the best of Roswell, not for you.
Absolutely.
Like I just said.
And that's why, it's important to, ask those judge questions and things. Because ideally, most of us are going to think, well, I'm never going to see this person unless, life really gets bad on me.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that.
That's in the ideology.
That's the ideology, but don't ever say that.
But yeah, it really does make a difference. And after talking, especially the more I talk to some of our, judges that we know and part of our community over the years, and it's like, that's one of those positions where in theory, you need no experience to do it, but boy, is there a difference between a judge with experience and a judge without experience in that chair. And so you want to make sure you pick the right people. So.
Correct. So right now we have a few other items going on. Now I want everyone to understand Constitution Day.
Yes.
September 17th is Constitution Day. Okay.
Yep, and I believe the college is doing something. I
don't know.
Yeah.
I know that of course, our luncheon will be set up for that.
But I remember talking to Donna a couple weeks ago and saying that the college is going to do a Constitution Day too. So so wherever you are,
I'll have to look into that. See what's going on there.
Yeah.
So that's that. We are raffling off a lap quilt, and it is for the Fisher House out of Albuquerque.
Okay, I know about the Fisher House.
The Fisher House is the group that helps the folks that have lost family, and you get to go to their house and stay there while you're either receiving the body or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that goes.
Yeah, it's like if Ronald McDonald House that helps families who have kids that are in hospitals and helps them. This is kind of the same kind of deal, but not for kids. It's more for the family and adults.
Correct. So come on, $5 a ticket.
Okay.
You're welcome to contact me, and my number is 575-420-8455.
And you can always lie when you win a quilt and say you made it yourself. I will never out you
Shame
about
that. On you. Shame on you, because the person that made it is the one who is sponsoring this month's lunch. Calico.
And I appreciate, but I'm sure Angel would be like, if you want to buy it and then lie to people saying that you made it, she'd probably be cool with that because she
would
knows
be cool with that because she is the one who made this one.
So I always tell people, if you're just trying to help out, you buy it and you win it, and you want to lie and tell people you made it yourself, blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not going to out you.
Yeah. I don't think I would do that, because somebody would say, now I've been a seamstress, but somebody would say, well, let's see your work. And I'm like, or the scraps.
That would be my problem.
Let me see the scraps to the quilt.
Or they want you to make you one. And be like, ooh, can you make me some? Oh, sure.
And you just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have? Caring for America is a committee that I run.
Okay.
In December, we will give the Assurance Home little bags for the kids.
Awesome.
Well, they're almost young adults at this
they're
point.
teenagers.
They're teenagers. So I collect stuff for that, 25 of each.
That's a great program, the Assurance Home.
I've done the dictionaries that we purchased for the other kids in town, so they actually have paper.
Gotcha.
Books,
Okay.
They love candy, and my kind of signature is bubbles.
Okay.
And then a recipe to remake bubbles so they can run around and throw bubbles on each other. It's just kind of a fun stress relief situation.
Yeah. And by the way, if you've never been, or I got lucky when I was in Leadership Roswell, a chance to experience the Assurance Home, and it's amazing what they do, and it's a beautiful facility out there. It's a little bit of an oasis in Roswell. That place.
It is.
You forget you're in Roswell for a minute sometimes when you're out there.
You think you're in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
You think you're in the country.
It's like, wait,
now climbing the deal. Did you get to climb their tower?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that's a trust deal, and that's sometimes kind of scary.
Well, I have a heights issue, so I didn't go all the way to the top, but I did go about as high till it got to a point where my leg wouldn't go. Like, I was like, I don't bend that way.
Your body says, wait a minute.
I wouldn't do this on the ground. I'm not doing it 30 feet up in the air.
So every luncheon, we have what we call a door prize. This last door prize was a basket full of fall goodies.
Okay.
And our lady that won it, let's see, it was on here, but I don't see her name. Anyway, it's 6 tickets for $5. That money goes line item to our scholarships.
Okay, for the kids' scholarships.
We give scholarships away, like 5 every year, to high school kids.
And it's kind of sweat equity for these high school kids because they are earning they're kind of like interns a little bit for the Republican women, and so they're earning their keep. But that's what that money.
They're earning their keep. They come and give us a speech every now and then, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
But in that they learn, civics and government and how it runs and how the way the world works. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's kind of my lineup at this point. Did I cover the whole 15, 20 minutes?
Well, we got plenty, but don't forget, next Wednesday, 1 week from today,
yes,
at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Again, what time does everything start?
It starts at 11:30.
11:30.
The doors open at 11:30. We start feeding usually around noon. $16 a plate.
And they do ask you RSVP for the food and everything. If you just come in for the meeting,
You know, 575-420-8455. Just call me.
Okay.
I don't bark. Well, sometimes I bark, but usually not for that.
And of course, you can always shoot a message on the Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Facebook page.
Yes, and
they'll
we
be
have
happy
an
to
RSVP now. It is RSVP ccfrw@gmail.com. So you just, the first letter of each Chaves County Federated Republican Women.
Okay.
And then RSVP in front of that, and throw us your name, and we'll have registration there so you can register and be a member of our group.
Yeah.
We would love that because we do a lot more than just Republican stuff.
Sure. It's a community. Yeah,
I love addresses to the older folks that are either in nursing homes or at homes because we write them notes.
Yeah.
They're older folks, and notes are the way they remember their world.
Sure.
Not phone and all of that.
Well, older folks, and this is all of us. We're less comfortable connecting through technology.
Yes, sir.
Granted, more older folks do, some kind of Facebook or email, some kind of electronic.
To stay in touch. Yeah.
But for the most part, that's not their lives. That's not something they do. They're not like, generations where they're born with a phone stuck in their hand.
Correct.
This isn't, we're kind of on the bubble there. We got a foot in each world here.
We are.
But it really is, for that generation, it's not their thing, and they're not going to. So for older folks to be kind of isolated or shut in, so sometimes a note,
a snail
phone
mail,
call,
and the younger
visit.
ones are like, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, I can't read script.
Yeah,
let's start over."
Well, and it's like it's so funny that you mentioned notes here. Just yesterday, I live over by the hospital, and there's a lot of. I don't live in a retirement community, but it just so happens there's a lot of seniors that live near me, and I live by a hospital. Just it tends to happen that way.
Yes.
But anyway, so our neighbor is elderly. They're in their 90s, very nice people and everything. But I always on trash days, I have to take our trash up to the corner for the trash trucks to get them. So I always bring, like when there's 2 empty trash cans, I always bring theirs back with me, and don't think nothing of it. I just do it. And then yesterday, sure enough, they gave a little note with a gift card for Cattle Baron saying thank you for doing that, and it was just. But that's the generation.
That's the generation that we're missing.
Yeah,
that's the heartfelt generation.
Yeah.
The volunteering and things like that. It's hard. It's hard because the younger generation doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And as the Republican women, we volunteer for I don't know how many things. We have a literacy that we get the dictionaries for Dexter Hegeman. Those will be sent out soon. We purchase paper dictionaries, and those will go out. We have a reading club. I don't know if I mentioned that. And we choose a book. Our Broken Elections is the book I believe that they're reading, and then they sit and then they discuss it.
Good deal. So they do the book club and everything
So they do
else.
the Red Shoe Book Club.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Very good.
I think I've covered just about everything that I had down.
And like you said, if you're interested in come out to the next Wednesday.
Yes.
Come learn about what the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women
Correct.
do. Like I said, men are part of the organization
Yes.
as well. But they serve as kind of like an auxiliary, if I remember.
They do, kind of like an auxiliary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the nomenclature is a little bit different, but in essence, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So.
And this is the most informed club when it comes to the Republican Party you're going to find around Roswell.
Well, and also if you have a question or need answers about any particular Republican candidate or anything,
We can find it.
Regarding voting, whether it's to get registered, to what districts, all that, they can be a resource for all that too.
And bring your questions because Cindy's going to we going to be there.
Yes.
She knows
Cindy
everything.
Fuller's an amazing resource when it comes to elections, and again, we were talking earlier about political elected positions. Clerk's another one.
Yes.
It's really that's a position that I get why it's an elected position, but because it's a job that not anybody can do. I'm not
Correct.
saying that mayor or city council or any of those aren't jobs that anybody
Correct.
can, because they're not. There's a certain skill set
Yes.
too, but when it comes to clerk, that's a lot of organization. That's a lot of dealing with numbers and bookkeeping and that clerical type things. And not everybody's cut out to do that.
I believe she was the assistant or deputy or whatever you want to call it for like 10 years before she got the position. So she already
was under
knew what she
David,
was doing. And she is elected. The city is not. The city clerk is not.
Yeah, they're appointed.
That's a ceremonial, and that's a discussion we're having, but that's a ceremonial appointment because it's such an old thing. But anyway,
Okay.
that's an argument we're still having. But
That one's being hashed out.
that one's being hashed out at this point.
But either way, I always look at it as like, that's a position you vote for skill, not for
Correct.
politics. You know what I mean?
Like I said, politics needs to stop.
Yeah.
And it needs to really stop, not pretend stop. We've got
Sure.
the pretend stops going on, and
Yeah.
that's just not working in my book.
Well, and at the end of the day, we're all on the same side. We're all
We are.
Americans. We all want a great country. We all want those things. We're ready to kill each other to have that, but I don't
Correct.
think we need to. I'm like,
Correct.
I think we can agree to disagree on some things and live.
Oh, I've done that a lot. A lot.
But at the same time, also find common ground and find real
Correct.
solutions to other problems.
Correct.
And that's, I think when we see the scare tactics that, let's face it, both parties do to try to, it puts things up in a lather that
Yes.
can be dangerous sometimes.
Well,
So,
and it is dangerous.
Yeah.
When you're on the receiving end, it is dangerous, and you just deal with it and you move on.
yeah. It's just, it was like, I don't know. It's just when I was a kid and this kind of stuff, they just yell and adults got ashamed and then they
Yeah.
moved on. Now you try to chastise something like that and you're the one who gets like beat down. So
Exactly.
It's like, man, what happened?
Exactly.
Anyway.
So let me throw in a quick a deal here again.
Okay.
Harry Montoya, State Treasurer, Pecos Winery.
This Friday.
At lunchtime, 11:30 to 1, so you won't miss lunch. You
Okay.
actually can get lunch.
Yeah. And they have delicious
Come and
sandwiches.
talk
and
to
ones.
him. See how he's feeling, see where he's at, and when you vote, make sure your vote makes your heart feel good.
Yeah.
Your vote has to make your heart feel good.
When you talk the treasurer and finances and things, and that's a big one in the state, where the money's spent and how
It
it's
is.
spent, and now I'm assuming there's an influx of cash with all this cannabis legislation going and money coming in, and what they do with this money next is now some important questions we need
You're
to
right.
answer. So
So I don't pay a lot of attention to the state and national because I'm focused here on Roswell.
Sure.
It's a smaller place. It's where I live, where my neighbors are and my friends are. So that's where I focus. And we have local things here for the Republican Federated Women.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. And of course, with fair, fast approach and stuff, don't forget to look for the Republican Party.
The fair booth is in the same place it's always been. They're going to redo it a little bit this year.
Okay.
A registrar will be out there, so you can just register right on over from whatever party you are to Republican Party.
Perfect.
That way you'll make sure you get all the flyers and everything that you need to get. We've got letters going out asking information, so we can go to electronic more than snail mail.
Good,
but I
very good.
still like snail mail.
I understand. I do.
Yeah.
I can
like
appreciate.
You said, we're in that generation. We have
got a
foot
in
in
each
both sides.
world. Yeah. There's some days I like its convenience. Like to be honest, checks. I don't miss writing checks. I don't. I missed like when I was younger and broke and be like, ooh, I could write this rubberish check and then be good.
You could let it float 3 days.
Yeah,
I understand 3 days, but after that, you're just SOL. But I don't know. You might be able to do it 4 with the mail service now.
This is true. Yeah. So but now I'm like, nah, no, it's too much.
Exactly.
It's one more thing I got to stick in my pocket when I walk around.
I'll wash it in the washer.
Yeah, exactly. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to look for Chaves County Federated Republican Women Facebook page. If you have any kind of questions or want more information about anything we talked about or anything maybe we didn't talk about, reach out through there, and any of the members would be happy to get you that information.
We're there.
And come on out next Wednesday. Come on out this Friday to Pecos Flavors Winery and come be informed. And as I say every time, I will never tell people to vote, but I will tell you, if you do vote, you better vote informed.
Yeah.
If I haven't asked you a question, why, you better give me an answer.
Yeah, and make sure your heart feels good and pray about it, whatever it needs to do to get there. But you have to live it after you've checked that box.
I don't want to hear things like I like their ties. I like the.
Sometimes the ties are nice.
Well, if they start out with that, then I'm like, all right, we got a problem.
Exactly.
If that's like 27 on the list, I'm like, all right, I'll give you that one.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, Janine, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Don't work too hard.
I'll try to bring some of my partners.
There you go. and dodge the shrapnel.
Exactly.
Thanks, Janine.
Thank you very much. God bless.
53. Let's go ahead and pause for news, quick break, and that should about do it. We'll be back.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A tragic car crash in Roswell leaves 3 people dead. It happened on Main Street when a speeding car going the wrong way at about 2 in the morning struck another car early Sunday. RPD used witness statements and nearby surveillance videos during the investigation. They found that a Dodge Challenger speeding south in the northbound lanes of Main Street struck a Lexus. The driver of the Challenger, 27-year-old Felipe Villa Espinosa, was killed, along with both people in the Lexus. They were 32-year-old David Jonathan Avina and 29-year-old Tyler Armstrong, all from Roswell. And a Las Cruces man has been arrested after initially getting away from police after a pursuit about a month ago. 25-year-old Joshua Lopez was arrested and taken to a hospital, but he somehow escaped the hospital. He had been accused of trying to steal an air conditioner unit in August from the Lowe's store with another man named Miles Luciano. Luciano was shot by police. Lopez was recaptured on Friday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Gavin Newsom is so desperate for attention. I'm predicting right now he's probably going to be the Democratic nominee in 2024. If I had to guess today, he wants this so bad, and his policies are so atrocious. He's been such a failure. I love it. I can't even believe that in the middle of all these brownouts, they're giving out instructions to people to not charge their electric vehicles that he's been forcing them to buy. You're not even allowed to charge your electric vehicle on because of they don't have a powerful enough grid out in California, which is laughable. So what's the point of getting the electric vehicle? Doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, do you want to improve your shooting? Of course you do. Now, you're going to love Mantis X. Now, they have improved my shooting dramatically. It is a must-have for every responsible gun owner. Now, the Mantis X is a high-tech but simple-to-use system used extensively, by the way, by the military. and it improves your shooting quickly and will give you the confidence in your ability to protect what you love. Now, here's how it works. You attach the Mantis X to your firearm. You connect with an app on your smartphone or tablet or Bluetooth. It gives instant feedback on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how to correct your technique. Now, the Mantis X is like a firearms instructor right in your pocket, and 94% of shooters improve within 20 minutes using Mantis X. And Mantis X is the best way to train at home. No driving to the range, no spending money on range fees and ammo. You're going to save a ton of money and improve your shooting. So start improving today. Just go to mantisx.com. That's MANTISX.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like all the moist air will stay west of the mountains for now, and that means a lot of sunshine for us. We'll stay pretty warm. Our high in the low to mid-90s today, and a little bit breezy during the afternoon hours. Mid-60s and clear for the overnight hours, and then Wednesday and Thursday look about the same with afternoon highs near 90 and lots of sunshine. Friday, low 90s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. This week, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise its key short-term interest rate by a substantial 0.75 of a point for the third consecutive time. Another hike that large would lift its benchmark rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, to a range of 3% to 3.25%, the highest level in 14 years. Wall Street stocks opened broadly lower this morning. Every sector of the market fell as traders wait to see how far the Fed will hike interest rates at its meeting that wraps up tomorrow. The Fed raising the cost of borrowing money in hopes of slowing down the hottest inflation in 4 decades. British Prime Minister Liz Truss says a UK-US trade deal is probably years down the road. Truss talked about it during her first visit to the United States as the leader of Britain. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
There's nothing like the rich look and luxurious feel of real leather. Glenn's Furniture has a special inventory of high-quality leather furniture in dozens of beautiful colors. Power reclining sofas, love seats, and recliners in a variety of styles, all covered in soft, durable leather that would look fabulous in your home. Visit Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda and upgrade to leather today. Glenn's, making homes beautiful since 1953.
Bob Reed Pest Control has been providing pest management services for over 50 years and continues to set high standards for their customers. Protect your home, family, and pets from destructive, poisonous, and disease-carrying pests. All of Bob Reed Pest Control's licensed technicians are continuously trained and knowledgeable in the latest pest management practices, offering effective treatment plans for any situation. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today, 575-623-5344, and find them fast in names and numbers.
Come on down. The Price is Right sales event is on at Roswell Nissan with a showcase showdown of amazing savings, like a 2020 Nissan Sentra for just $289 a month, 2020 Nissan Versa for just $249 a month, or a 2014 Toyota Avalon for just $219 a month. Plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days available. If you got a job, a bank account, and a down payment or trade, Roswell Nissan can make it happen. The Price is Right sales event all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
The season continues for your Roswell Coyotes, and this Friday night, your Coyotes take the show on the road once again, headed to Clovis to take on the Wildcats. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSBPTV.com have got you covered. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Wildcats of Clovis High. Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online worldwide at KSBPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us for today's show. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of your day. I really do appreciate that. I hope you have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow with an all-new show. Till then, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you then.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.